How are you, Kiffer? Welcome in. How are you, Red? Jeez, that's a bit loud. Let me invite you as well.
How's it going, Tree?
All good, Kiffer. Yourself?
I'm good, mate. Thank you. Yeah, yourself?
Yeah, sure. Can't complain, man. We was out today. Did a little bit with the
Nice.
kids.
Awesome.
What were we up to? We did. Oh, Leah had a camogie game. My eldest with some older girls and stuff. So we were just chilling.
Awesome. Awesome. How'd she find that with like the older girls though?
She enjoyed it. She thrived on the challenge.
Yeah, I loved it when I played football with my brother's year group. I think it's better. I think it's actually better for you, especially in sports.
100%. Like, yeah, the kind of level is up, and
Yeah,
you're working hard.
it's very much step up or step aside.
It is 100%.
And I quite like that, definitely in sports.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just bear with me a second. I'm still trying to set up at the minute.
Yeah, it's fine, mate. No, do what you got to do.
Red's in as well.
How's it going, Red?
Hello all.
How are we keeping, buddy?
Not too bad. How's everyone?
Yeah, good, mate. Yourself? How's your day been?
Yeah, it's been really good, thank you. How about you two?
Yeah, it's been busy, mate. I've been with my daughter today, and then dropped her back off at her mum. She's got a GCSE exam in the morning, so I dropped off a little bit earlier than usual, just to do a little bit more revision. And then got back for this.
Oh, nice.
If he had his priorities set today, so we did.
Yeah. In fairness, I realised what the time was, and I went, "Oh my god, I ain't got a lot of time to get stuff ready before this."
Jai, we best run.
I've just literally been playing through all Lego Batman. Like I've managed to get to the second Lego game, and then obviously I looked at the time. I'm like, "Oh, I can't carry on."
Oh, thanks, Ginger.
Well, you can always play away as well, Red. Like while you're talking to us, is no bother. Just make sure it's turned out.
Oh no, that's all right. No, it's all right. I've turned it off at the minute. I've played a good amount of hours.
We'll get some rage quit as well.
Yeah, you might end up hearing me in the background just screaming at the Legos
getting smashed in the background.
Sure, there's nothing wrong with that now. People will, they'll get to experience firsthand of what they're going to get into when they join your lives, hopefully. Because you're going live from Tuesday, are you, Reg? You're starting up again.
I'm hoping to, yeah.
Sweet. Be good to see you back, mate.
It has been a long while.
Yeah, be good to see you back.
The hiatus is over near enough, and he's back and on it. There's been a heap of gifts coming as well, guys, for you both.
Yeah, superb. Thank you very much.
Oh, I didn't know. Thank you, guys.
It was Simsy and Ginger, I believe, from what I've seen.
Thank you very much.
There we go. Yeah, there's some rolls been sent in and everything. Great stuff. Well, I'll give it a couple of minutes, like we could just talk amongst ourselves, and then we'll get into it. I think it's just going to be you two tonight, unless Pidge makes an appearance later on.
Sweet. Oh, cool.
Bridie, bless her, she messaged me, and she's had some medical stuff
Christ,
to sort out.
Oh,
so obviously, health and family comes before.
I hope everything's all right.
From what I know, yeah. I mean, I didn't pry too much, and
no, definitely no.
It's not my spot to say much more really over line, but she wishes she could be here. She's sorry she had to drop out.
And there's always another time, isn't there? So.
Well, this is it now. Hopefully, going forward now. I mean, I got good response from it the first time round from you guys as well.
Oh, yeah, love the first one. First one was class.
And it is up there, guys, on YouTube if you want to go and check it out.
See, I actually haven't seen it on YouTube, but obviously I was there the first time you did it through here, this app, and it was really nice just having it in the background.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. That's what it's all for. Just people to, chat and just come together over games. Like,
it's nice to hear different people's opinions on their tastes and backgrounds and what they've played and what they want to play and stuff like that. It's quite nice because everyone's different. That's what gaming is, isn't it? It's such a variety.
100%, yeah. I mean, some people are into platformers, other persons shooter games. Some people don't like first-person shooters, other ones do. It's, I mean, people out there, they have different preferences over platforms. I'll try and play on anything, personally. More retro, you guys know that. Keep your live engaging, turning your camera off, showing statistics. Hang on. There we go. I don't know if that's going to be... I don't know if it wants me to do that or not. It's just come up with a warning saying that I need to turn my camera on or something. So we shall see.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it'll all go well. Red actually made the sticker for this, for the background there, so I thought I'd
that's
use it
neat.
today.
I like that.
I've also got another one too from Simsy that he made from the last time. So yeah, it's great, like seeing people throw stuff up. It's,
Yeah, I just thought I'd play about with it and just see what I can come up with.
I appreciate that, man. It's ideal. Like, it looks pretty cool, like the old microphone there, and looks like an oak tree to me. But I could be wrong. Not very often.
Well, I tried blending the mic with the color of the tree bark itself, so
yeah, it looks nice, man. It does. Right. I don't know if you two guys have any preference on who's going to take the mantle first.
Totally up to you. Totally up to you, Tree.
I'm easy.
You're easy. Well, I've got Kiffer to the left, and seeing as we're an English-speaking language, we'll start on the left and work to the right. So, if that's okay with you guys, I'll take Kiffer on first, and we will we'll cut the meat and see what the story is. So we'll get started if that's all right with you two guys.
Yeah, go for it, mate. Yeah, ready whenever you are.
Yeah, I'll just turn my mic off now then.
No worries, Reg. Yeah, no problems at all. Thanks a million for that, buddy. Right, welcoming everyone to Volume 2 of TreeCast. After Volume 1 got such great rave reviews from everybody, I got great feedback. We've decided to bring it back, and we're supposed to be 4 people again. However, we may have a third join us later on. He's busy, and our 4th person had to drop out, so unfortunately she won't be with us tonight. I was looking forward to having my first female guest on, but unfortunately we'll have to wait for the next one. This evening, I'm joined by Chris Kiffer Scott and Retro Nerd, who are both into their retro scene of gaming, and we're going to get their take on what makes good games, what libraries they have. So yeah, kick back, enjoy the chat, and see where the night takes us. I'd like to invite you to follow them, obviously. Red's actually going to be starting streaming next week, this week, again after a hiatus, but I'll talk more about that later on. Kiffer is also in the talks of starting some gaming streams. He also does some streams at the minute, but I won't talk about that too much. We'll do a little bit more diving in a few minutes. So welcome in, Kiffer. If you want to take the mic there for a couple of minutes, mate, and just explain to the people, what you're about, what you're into, what your gaming tastes are, and then we'll start the interview, bud.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so I'm more of a, like yourself, Tree, more of a sort of retro gamer. Admittedly, I don't game as much as what I used to. Just obviously work and time restraints and whatnot, and daughter and family life, etc. But my current sort of consoles are like the PS1, PS2, PS3, Xbox 360, Nintendo GameCube, the N64, the Dreamcast, and I was hoping to get a Sega Mega Drive in the distant future, but I've got a one of them like TV dongle sticks, like the gaming sticks that you can get. So I've got one of them, and that's got absolutely tons of Sega Mega Drive stuff already on it. So yeah, I like the physical retro stuff. So I might go back to the Mega Drive.
It's a great console, to be fair. I mean, if you had a Switch, the options there to have it on the NSO, which is handy. But again, you don't have every game. It's the downside, but it's handy to have. But yeah, I mean, fair play to you. Good evening, Stace. Evening, Stinks. Welcome in. So it sounds like you've got a lot of consoles knocking around the place, mate, to be fair, ranging from all different eras, which is it's ideal for a retro gamer like me and you, What kind of games and stuff? I mean, you spoke about your system. What kind of games do you have there with the consoles?
Pretty much. I mean, I'm pretty sports mad. So obviously I had all the FIFAs growing up. Obviously the Mega Drive had the old, like FIFA. I think it was originally just called FIFA, and then I think it went to FIFA 96 or 95. And I remember you used to be able to run away from the referee when he tried to give you a yellow card. You could run away from him. And the goal celebration, you could button bash and get different sound effects and pyro, which I thought was quite class. When obviously I was only about 9 maybe at the time. Obviously playing that with my brother and my cousin was great fun back in the day. But yeah, obviously the GTAs and Metal Gear Solids, and obviously your Sonics, and I'd probably say I'm more of a mainstream title person. I don't really sort of branch out to sort of unknown titles really. That's why sort of like watching yourself, Red, Simsy, Link, and Stinks, seeing different people play different games that I've never seen before is quite, it's quite good.
Yeah, it kind of gets you in the mood for stuff. I'd be the same now. If I see someone playing something, I'd rather watch someone play it first before going out and buying it, because it makes sense in my opinion. But like all the retro games we've probably played growing up, or a hell of a lot of them anyway.
Especially like I'd probably say like Mega Drive, PS1, PS2, N64, and the Dreamcast are probably like I would say my proper gaming memory consoles. They were probably the ones I played like the majority of my time on. I think once I got to the PS3 stage and like the Xbox 360 stage, that was then a period where I was in I was 21, 22. It was just before I had my daughter. And then obviously time then is, it's not as available as obviously when you're young and free.
I fully understand that, mate. Yeah, having 2 kids myself, I can fully back that up. Yeah. I mean, it's great when they get to a certain age and you can game with them and reminisce. Definitely. That's what kind of got me back into the gaming thing, or the gaming side of things. Like, was the kids reaching a certain age, and I was watching guys online. I was watching Stinks. I was watching RK. I was watching good few streamers. I was like, geez, I'd love to play Mario Karts with the kids, or I'd love to play, show them how to play this, that, and the other. And the next thing you know, I bought a Switch too. And, and then we start expanding out, like we start buying other stuff. But no, it's great, like, and it's just another way to kind of relive some of them classic times that you had growing up.
Definitely. Yeah, the amount of times I must have spent on like YouTube, especially like as I've got older, I've like been on YouTube and or YT, I should say, sorry. And like watched walkthroughs and playthroughs and just thinking, by the time that I've actually watched it, I could have actually played it myself. And you sit there and you think, I've never have time, and I think I should make more time really. But as KJ's got older, I have shown her like different bits and like my old consoles and stuff like that, and she's played a couple now and again. And one of my nieces has just got a PS2, and she's been going to the car boot with my brother to get games for it. So that's quite good.
There you go. It's a great place to pick up old games and stuff, isn't it? The car boot or vintage.
Yeah.
We don't tend to have too many car boots here in Ireland. Like, there's a couple that knock up, but it's usually just cheap crap and stuff that people there's no good finds. There's no gaming consoles. That all gets poured into
hidden gems are long gone.
Exactly, and it's so sad, like, as well at the same time, but. Sure, look, I mean, we can reminisce over these times being our age now, and the young kids will never understand, as they do say. We're showing our age now with a comment like, here we are. So, I mean, like, kind of going back to that then, Kiffer, what got you into gaming originally?
I probably, like I said earlier, with like the FIFA, like obviously I've got an older brother, he's 2 years older than me, and my cousin's the same age. Obviously spent a lot of time with them. Obviously like playing the Sega Mega Drive with them, and like the FIFA and whatnot, obviously being football nuts, that was, it was good fun. And then my dad bought me and my brother a Sega Master System 2, which was, which I don't know if you could class the Commodore 64 as a console, because it was sort of like a PC with games with it.
Yeah, the cassette deck, didn't you? And the keyboard,
that's it. Yeah. So I had that first, and my actual physical gaming console was the Sega Master System 2, and it came with Sonic. And I remember like playing it, and I didn't really know what I was doing, and my brother would sort of help me out and whatnot, and I'd do what I could, and then he would then play and get me out of a muddle. And then pretty much since then, mate, I was like, gaming, great, couldn't wait. Got all the magazines and demo discs, and like you got the old VHS tapes and previews for the next games and stuff like that. Yeah, you just used to love it.
Then you'd sit and wait, and then you'd look back and the new game would drop. It'd be 25, 30 quid. Can I get the game? No, it's too expensive. Yeah. Well, Jesus, you'd love to buy a brand new game now for 25, 30 quid, wouldn't you?
You'd be lucky. You wouldn't even get you half a game now, would it, sadly?
No, you'd probably get DLC for it if you're looking. That would be about it now. That would be about it.
What puts me off a lot of the modern stuff, to be honest with you, Tree, is just the affordability, and it's just even the console itself is expensive now. And I know that the tech is obviously a lot better and whatnot, and the games are obviously much higher quality. But when you're working in your bills and house, and you got nieces and nephews and daughter to buy and sort of help out with and stuff. It's you know what it's like with kids and whatnot. Nothing's cheap.
Nothing's cheap. No, nothing at all. It's the world is getting to a crazy place now where you can't afford to live. It's crazy.
Yeah, but the luxuries have took sort of like a back seat really, and it's sort of prioritising other things that I need and want over that, which is a shame really, because I do miss gaming regularly. And I mean that's probably going to come down to one of your questions later on, but I'll answer that as you get to it.
Fair enough, buddy. Yeah, we can roll with that. I mean, you've talked about Sonic and stuff kind of being one of the pinnacle games that you got there on your Master System 2 growing up, and before that you touched on the Commodore 64 you had. I myself had a Commodore 16, which was the predecessor. Is it the predecessor? The one that came before the 64?
Yes, it was, yes, yeah.
And I remember games on there. You had Spiky Harold, you had your Pong. It was all kind of just... Was it 8-bit games, I think, back then?
It was, yes. Yeah, I remember like just typing on the keyboard, pretending that I was really smart. I was like, I just like the clickety clack of the keyboard. It's like, yeah, this is great.
There you go. You felt like a proper executive before the executive times even came along. Like, it was great. So I mean, yeah, you've had Sonic and stuff, but like, what would be kind of your all-time favorite game?
Oh Christ!
Any console, any era.
I mean, like with the PS1, the Mega Drive, the N64. Yeah, I'd probably say PS1. Mega Drive, N64, yeah. So you got obviously like your Golden Eyes, your Marios, Wave Race. I don't know why Wave Race. I had it and I absolutely played it to death. Golden Eye, obviously that's F1 loved Golden Eye back then. Yeah. Big wrestling fan back in the 90s. Obviously like the Monday Night Wars and whatnot. So obviously like the N64 had WCW, NWO Revenge, and No Mercy, which obviously still holds up today. Obviously like the SmackDown games on the PS2, GTA 3 and Vice City were like huge, and San Andreas for me were like them three. I'd probably put in my top 5.
They'd be up there.
Yeah, they're in terms of like the amount spent on them and just like memories with like going to mates' house after school and stuff like that. I'd probably put them 3 right up in my top 5. Obviously, I played FIFAs and the football games and stuff like that. Metal Gear Solid 1 was another one on the PS1 for me. And Toe Jam and Earl. I know that I've seen you didn't play it on the Mega Drive. I mean, me and my brother and cousin played that, and it was just like we didn't know what we were doing. I mean, it's only till recently that I realised that the gifts actually meant something. So yeah. I just knew you had to find the pieces of the spaceship and go up and down levels. So yeah, even today, I'm still learning stuff about that game that I played and loved ages ago.
I've played it with Stinks, and I still don't know what's going off in that game, mate. I'm being serious. Like, it is a mind melter of a game, and to be a kid back then playing it, I can understand why you probably just hovered around level 2 and 3 and just thought,
it's so easy now to just go on a video streaming platform or somewhere to just find a video to do something now, whereas back then you maybe got a strategy guide or a cheat book with a magazine, and that was it.
But that wouldn't come out until the month after you bought it. You'd have to wait for it.
Or you might get like the Nintendo or like the PlayStation call lines that you might be able to find bits and bobs from the game, but then that would cost you a premium rate on the telephone.
That's it, yeah. If you dial 1 now, it'll cost you £1.50 a minute. Do you have the bill payer's permission?
Yeah.
I remember them times now. Wow.
Yeah, got a lot of trouble for that once.
I was the same. The good old days, as they do say, hey?
Oh, yes. Yeah, my dad said I could pay. Yeah, my dad said I could call.
Yeah, at least they were them numbers and not other numbers you'd be ringing up that you might find at the back of the Daily Sport now or something back in the day. Jesus. Yeah. So out of them games then, Kiffer, if I had to ask you for the best game, which one would you say was your favourite? There's no right and wrong answer. I mean, yourself,
I mean, it would have to be between GTA 3 and GoldenEye.
GTA 3 and GoldenEye, so they both kind of got that shooting aspect.
Yeah, like GoldenEye was just iconic at the time. GTA 3 was a groundbreaker. I mean, to even to this day, like the open world aspect of games, I mean, GTA 3 really opened up the doors for that, especially with its predecessors, like like GTA 1 and 2, where it was like 2D and top down, and then all of a sudden, within a generation, you've gone completely open world 3D. I just remember like the opening. I've said to Stinks on his lives when he played GTA 3, like the opening that jazz blues intro and like the tiles and like the opening sequence, like just I loved it. Like I didn't even get to the main cut, the opening cut scene. I was like, I love it. I love it.
I love it.
GoldenEye. I just played the hell out of GoldenEye as a kid with mates, and obviously you go to sleepovers and you hang out with your mates after school. Bring your controller, bring your memory cards, and like multiplayer. And it's just multiplayer, and it was just good. You don't get that now. It's all online, and you're all in different places and different countries, and where you had that closeness. It was like, right, bring snacks. You're staying at mine tonight. Yeah, great. N64, PlayStation, movies. Didn't sleep. Great.
It was the brotherhood. That's kind of what it was.
100%. Yeah.
You knew the players. You were sat there with them. The problem with that is you could see the screen. I mean, you could see where everyone was hiding, which was the downside, unless you had like the LAN setup. Was it the LAN setup where you could have it on different TVs?
Yes, that's it. Yeah. It was awesome. Like you had like these little, like the 32-inch, CRT TVs, awful monitors and massive units, and it was awesome. Split into 4 screens. It was brilliant. I'd do anything to go back to them days. I really would.
They were good old times now. They really were.
Yeah.
I mean, like a lot of people wish they could go back there for other reasons as well, but gaming would be one thing that entice you back to them times. Playing some of the first games that you've ever played and wish you can go back and play through for the first time.
Oh, God, yeah. Yes, Stinks Toy Story 2 was up there as well, mate, but just probably not as much as the ones I mentioned.
You weren't supposed to say that on live.
Yeah, it was.
Right, so I mean, going forward down from there, I mean, we've had your high games, we've had your best games. What game was kind of the biggest disappointment for you? The one that really was hyped up for, and
I really thought about this one after I read your messages of the questions, and I can only go back to the mid '90s. Obviously, sports fan, loved wrestling at the time. Obviously, the old WWF and WCW Monday Night Wars. You didn't know which one to flick between on Monday night. Was it WWE Raw or WCW Nitro? And this is just before I had the N64. Obviously, I had 2 younger stepbrothers. So when I went to my dad's at the weekends, my 2 stepbrothers had the PS1, and I had the Mega Drive. So we'd like bring the consoles together and like, we would split it between all of us and play individual and stuff like that. And a couple of my mates at school got the N64 on release, and they had got WCW NWO Revenge, and I was like, oh my god, like wow, like this is like amazing. And then on the PS1, WCW, I think it was Nitro came out, and it was absolute pants. I couldn't have been any more disappointed if I tried. I went to back in the day we had Blockbusters and like video renters and rental places you could go to. We used to go to one every Friday night. So when me and my brother went to our dad's at the weekend, we'd all go. Me, the 2 younger stepbrothers would go to. It was a place called Choices.
We had a Choice videos with us,
yeah, absolutely loved it. It was amazing. Went in and he would say, right, you're allowed 2 games, and then we'd get a movie. So yeah, great. And I remember seeing WCW on the PS1, and I was like, let's try it. Let's see if it's any good. If it's anything like WCW NWO Revenge, it's going to be awesome. Plugged it in, and I must have spent about 5 minutes on it. I put it back in its disc, and I said, we can return it. Done with it.
Take it back. Take it back.
I was so disappointed. I remember it to this day, being so disappointed with it.
It just didn't hold up to the mustard.
It was dreadful, mate. It was awful. I think there was Nitro, Thunder, and then I think EA Games then made WCW Mayhem, and by then I was like, I'm not even going to buy it.
That spoiled the franchise.
Massively, especially with how good WCW is in terms of the actual wrestling TV product. I was like, they're not going to make a terrible game, and the N64 equivalent of WCW NWO Revenge was like incredible. And then obviously THQ, and I think it was like a Khaki Games or something. I can't remember the name of the developer. but they then got brought out by WWE, and they made NWO Revenge, WWF No Mercy, and then obviously we know how good that game is in terms of wrestling games. So yeah, WCW was like a massive, kick in the balls.
It's a big speed bump in the road.
Massive, mate. Yeah, massive.
It's amazing how one bad game can like set a franchise back so far. Like it's
big time. I was like, never played one again. I was like, no, not doing it. So any other game that came out after it, I was like, nah, not buying it.
You've lost a fan. Sorry.
Yeah,
you've lost a fan. And it's a shame because you're probably not the only person with that kind of viewpoint on it. You know, I mean, there's been games there that have been sport for me over the years, and I wouldn't go back to them again. It's just, why would you? I mean, you could dabble in it, but you'd never have that same excitement again going into it, would you?
Oh no, definitely not. No. Like luckily, like I said, like me, my brother, and my two stepbrothers were very grateful. Like we were very, very lucky as kids growing up. Like we all got, we all had all the consoles pretty much, give or take, on release or the Christmas of that, that winter of the console being released.
Yes.
So I must admit, our upbringing was class, and we were very lucky. So at one point, we had the PS1, the PS2, the Dreamcast, the N64. We had the Game Boy. I think the Game Boy Color had released as well then, and we had like the Neo Geo Pocket. So we pretty much had every sort of console, between us all. So I mean, I don't know how, to this day, I don't know how my parent or my dad and stepmom afforded it all, because we were very, very lucky, to be honest with you.
The thing is, now being a parent yourself, though, you know that if your kid wants something, you bust your balls.
Oh yeah, you do. Yeah, you do anything you can. Yeah, definitely.
You try and do the utmost you can to give them what they want. Not spoil them, but we've been there. We know what it's like to see stuff that we want and we can't get it. And
yeah, I just look back now, and I remember when the PS2 came out, there was a local video game store in the town that I grew up in, and he'd got a imported Japanese model, obviously as like a demo console, and it had the FIFA 2001 game on it, but it was all in Japanese. So me and him were like trying to like cipher through all the Japanese menu to negotiate to get to like an exhibition friendly match, then what league and what team. And I just remember like this whole 6 weeks summer holiday, I used to go to my nan's when my mum was at work, get dropped off. I'd do some bits for my nan for a house. I'd tidy up and wash up and whatnot. And I'd then tell her, look, I'm just going to walk into town quickly for an hour. And I'd go to the local video game store and just play FIFA for like an hour. Yeah. And I remember when it came out, I said to my parents, I said, look, my parents had obviously had split and remarried. And I said to like my mum and my stepdad and my dad and my stepmom, I said, look, I know it's expensive. I think it was 250 quid when the PS2 come out on release. And I said, look, could you maybe just go halves and just get me the console, and I'll try and do some chores to earn a games to buy on release. So in the end, I got the console, and we went on release because we obviously had to pre-order it. And it was a school night, so my dad and my stepmom took me, my brother, and my two stepbrothers to Attleborough, where I grew up. Got to the video game store, got the console. Yep, here are his mine and my brother's one, and his my two stepbrothers one. My stepmom sort of looked and said, like, we can't just get them the console and then like not get games. So yeah, so we all looked at each other and said like, oh my god, what's going to happen? And then I think, at the time on the PS2, I think there was only like 6 games released. So I got ISS Pro Soccer, and I think my stepbrothers got Time Splitters. Don't hold me to that. I'm pretty sure it was a release title, and that was like a first-person shooter, and it was very similar to GoldenEye in terms of like its gameplay and its sort of style. And we obviously we were buzzing, so we went home. Obviously, I had school the next day, so got home and opened it and played about half an hour of it. And the stepmom was like, "Right, box it up. That's you can't have it until Christmas." And I was like, right. Yeah, went to school the next day, absolutely shattered. But I walked in with like such a swag that I'd got a PS2 on launch.
Delighted with yourself.
Yeah, it's a great memory to have, I must admit. We were extremely lucky. I know not everyone has that sort of same sort of upbringing and whatnot. I must admit, we were extremely lucky.
I remember. I mean, you probably heard the story there, but we had something similar at the Christmas with the N64 released. My brother's birthday is Christmas Day, and we both got given. His birthday was the evening, the afternoon. Christmas morning was always Christmas, and after 12 o'clock after the dinner, he had his birthday presents. It was his birthday. Cool. And we both opened a Christmas present that morning. I got Mario 64. He got Bomberman 64 for the Nintendo 64. We were like, oh, thanks. They're from my grandparents. And we didn't have an N64. Like, we had no console at the time. And we're like, oh, thank you. We've got nothing to play it on, but thank you.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until that evening where he'd opened his Christmas presents, his birthday presents then, and he got another game. And we're still thinking, oh, my God, what's happening here? And then mother and dad, well, my mum and dad pulled out a box and says, oh, here's a present for both of you. Another Christmas present. And there it was in all its glory.
How good is that feeling, though?
Oh, we hit the roof. It was like Christmas all over again. Yeah. It really was.
So good. When you get memories like that, I think that's what makes it as well. Like, you share, like, them games are like a time in your life, and, like, you can go back to, like, that. Like, I mean, obviously going off a little bit of the beaten track here with in terms of game, but like you go back to like certain scenarios, like you say, like 9/11, and people go, "Oh yeah, I remember that day as it was yesterday," and you go back to certain times of events and stuff like that. But you can do that with gaming. Like I can go back to like Tony Hawk's, and like I can hear the soundtracks and that in my head. I could just like click back. You're in the warehouse, Tony Hawk, 900, Special Meter, Secret Tapes. The music, the soundtracks. And you just like get instant, you just transcend back to that time period. And that's what gaming does.
It does. Like, it is a time machine in some respects. It really is. I mean, like we've spoke about like games that you play now and games that we've played in the past and stuff. So is there any games that you're looking forward to being released in the future? I mean, you're hoping there's not going to be a new release. It could be a sequel. It could be a remake. Is there anything that you're looking forward to or hoping?
Obviously, being a GTA fan, obviously I'm looking forward to GTA 6. And obviously I haven't got any modern consoles, so I am looking to maybe getting a PS5, obviously, because I would like to play GTA 6. I wouldn't like to just see it streamed. I'd like to actually play it. So I mean, yeah, I think going forward, I'm probably going to look into getting the GTA 6 and a PS5. I'd love to see Tony Hawk's maybe do like a 4 and 5 remake, because obviously they've done 1 and 2, 3 and 4. And obviously, not having modern consoles, I've not played them remakes. I've only seen them, so I'd like to get them at least and have them on the modern consoles again.
Something there to play with, yeah. That's understandable. I mean, I think everyone's looking forward to GTA 6 being released. I've heard even GTA 7's looking forward to GTA 6 being released at this stage.
I'll be nearly 70 then, Tree.
Tell me about it. Like, I mean, we've been waiting how long now? It's just
I know.
Put back.
Scary. I mean, some people, when 5 came out, that's almost been like double their age. They've almost doubled their age with the time it's taken to get 6 out.
Yeah, has it been 15, 16 years?
What was it, 2012? Was it 2012? Because I know it was on the 360 and the PS3.
I'm sure someone's going to tell us in a minute now.
I don't hold me to it. I'm pretty sure it was like 2012 or give or take.
I'm waiting for it to come up. I'm waiting for someone,
Simsy I'm hoping someone might possibly know, but
I remember playing it as a kid. Like, there you go, San Andreas. You were pedaling down Grove Street.
Oh yeah, now you're talking. Yeah,
that's San Andreas. I mean, what's GTA 5 then? Since then, GTA 5 launched. Then whenever that was,
it must be. When was GTA 5 released? Stinks. I think it was 2012 or 2013. I know it was very much in that time period.
2013. There you go. So 13 years.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah,
it really is. It really is. I mean, sure. Look, it'll be coming out eventually. And is it a Vice City remake?
That would be. See, going back to your question. I mean, if that happened, then yeah, great. I'd
You'd be on
I'm hoping also that they do maybe a GTA 4 remake. I know they've done obviously the trilogy, in 2020 or whatever it was, but I'd like to see 4 be done. That'd be quite cool.
And the thing is, you'd hope that they'd be able to pump something like that out fairly quick, because I mean, the game's there, the story's there, the meat's there. They've just got to revamp it a little bit, tweak it a little bit.
Put
There's such a cult following for GTA.
Like sort of like a 4K filter onto it or something, maybe, because it was a great game. I loved it. I loved 4. 4's a great game. It's just a shame that it came out on the console that I was then obviously then coming towards being, 21, 22 years old, on the brink of being a dad. I managed to complete it with my stepbrothers. That was another great memory. That was a good time to play. But it was very much a console that was like the end of my time with peak gaming.
Yeah. No, I feel you, man. I do. I mean, you've spoke to us there then, Kiffy. You've given us like a few examples, of good games that you've liked over the years, going from GoldenEye, Tony Hawk's. You spoke about Sonic, GTA's. I know you're a big Gears of War fan as well. You do like
Gears of War was class, mate. Yeah, love them games. Great games. I mean, obviously, I've streamed it before, and it's probably one that I know so well that I was quite confident to do it on a gaming stream. I mean, when you go live for the first time and whatnot, it's quite daunting. Obviously, as I've done it, my lives are slightly different to gaming stuff, and that was more daunting enough as it is. let alone gaming with an audience that knows games, and you're like, yeah, butchering this. So I wanted to play it safe and play a game that I knew quite well. And Gears of War is one that I know it like the back of my hand. But yeah, it's a great game. That's probably another one that I really should have put in my list, really, with the ones that you mentioned earlier on.
The 5. I mean, I know what you're saying. My first stream was my comfort game. It was Mario 64. I could play that game like the back of my hand. I'm not brilliant at it. I'm not a speedrunner by any aspects, but I knew for a fact I won't be able to rage at that game.
Yeah, you don't want to get to a point where you're on something for so long, and you're losing viewers, and then you can see the viewers dropping, and you start panicking and getting all flustered, and then it's just like you're in a sinking hole. It's horrible.
You can be, but at the same time, some people do tune in for that. That's what gets. I mean, look at Stinks. We love the rage that he brings with the games. I even called into Shemshir's live there earlier, who's the Panic Bandit, if she's still here, and her logo is "Don't stress. That's my job." Like something along them lines. I'll do the raging.
Yeah,
fair enough. But some people do love that aspect. But yeah, I mean, we spoke about these games and all the different. Well, they're all different style games, or a lot of them are different style games.
Yeah.
What kind of makes a perfect game for you? What makes the game spot on?
I tell you what, there is one that hooks me from the minute I play it to the minute it finishes. It was The Walking Dead by Telltale Games. The first season or the first series of it is an absolute roller coaster. It's very story based, decision based. Obviously, a lot of like multiple choices and different scenarios for different outcomes and whatnot. When it makes it great because you can make all these choices and there's different outcomes, so it's multiple ways of playing it. But you get so engrossed with the story and the characters that I'm not going to spoil it because I don't know if everyone's played it. But obviously, at the end, you're left with this decision, and it's just like, wow. And you actually start to care for the characters in the game, and you're not thinking of, oh yeah, I'll just tap X or tap Y or whatever and just pick that one and pick that one. You're actually like, oh my god, what happens to so and so if I do that? Or and there's all these different twists and turns and whatnot, and it's a great game. So obviously a great story, and I think that gaming is a way to get out of reality, and you can sort of indulge and submerge yourself in in something different, and it's like an escape, and you can enjoy it. And there's times where you play a game and all of a sudden you look up at the clock and it's like, oh my god, I've just been gaming for 6 hours.
Where's the time gone?
Yeah, and that's that to me is a sign of a great game. It's when you come off it and it's like hours have passed.
So you're looking for a dramatic kind of game that kind of immerses you into the story.
You've heard all the different types of games that I've played. I mean, like you've got GTA, you've got FIFAs, you've got all the sports games like golf, and NFL, NBA, NHL. Obviously, you've got Mario and Sonic, Metal Gear, wrestling games. It's a very vast variety of stuff that I like, and I could play FIFA for ages, and it just gives me the same amount of joy as what a shoot 'em up would do. I never really got involved with like the Call of Duty sort of stuff, like going online and playing Call of Duty and that sort of thing. But I can see why people get into it because it is quite hustle and bustle and looks quite fun. My stepbrother loved Halo, and that's a game that I didn't really play a lot of, but he worshipped it. And that's
I love a bit of Halo.
and it's so good because that's like going back to what I said before. Obviously, we got started. Like, there's such a variety of opinions, and you could get 10 people in a room, and you could have 10 completely different sets of stories, and that's what that is the great bit about gaming.
This is kind of the whole concept of why we've brought this podcast together, is to get the opinions of streamers. Put it out there for people, because people might just be passing through. You might be sitting there. They might have us on in the background just lurking, and they're like, well, you know what? I like these games. I'm going to follow this guy now. And, this is the thing that we're trying to do, is bring the gaming world together, because, like you say, there's so many diverse ways we can be. We could be sports fans. We could be shooter fans. We could be drivers. We could be open world. We could be, puzzle games. If we can bring everyone together and unite, that's what we're here for. And you had to get the name on the head there.
I didn't even mention like Resident Evil. Like, I remember playing Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3, and Code Veronica. I remember when Code Veronica came out on the Dreamcast, and it was one of the main reasons I got the Dreamcast, is because it was a new game and it was exclusive to the Dreamcast. And I was like, great, got it. And then obviously Sega Dreamcast collapsed, and the PS2 then got it ported over and whatnot. And I remember playing Resident Evil 1, and obviously I think I'd only just started high school, so I was 12, and my stepdad had a friend of his who kitted out his garage with new garage lighting. So obviously, the tubular, fittings that you get in the garages, and like light fittings.
Yep.
And he asked him if he can burn games or discs and stuff like that, and he burnt us like Worms Armageddon, and he got Resident Evil 1. So I had a schoolmate, and I said, look, so I've got Resident Evil 1 on PC burnt. So I said, do you want to come around after team to after school and play it? So we played it, and obviously the opening cutscene is like obviously filmed, and obviously you see all the dogs and that, and all the STARS members getting eaten and whatnot, and blood splattering all over the screen. We're like, what on earth is this? Got to like the gameplay, and we're like, oh, it's all like pixelated, and what Resident Evil 1 was like. It's not exactly the greatest in graphics. And you come to the first zombie that's eaten one of the STARS members on the floor, and obviously it then cuts into a cutscene of the zombie, and it turns and looks at you. And then the zombie stands up in the actual in-game gameplay and walks towards you, obviously with his arms flailing. And I was on the PC, and I'm like, I don't know the controls. So I'm like absolutely crapping my pants with my schoolmate, and we're going, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? We're hitting the space bar, we're hitting left, hitting right, we're hitting E, C, and we couldn't do it. Ended up just turning the power off. We were absolutely shit scared. We were absolutely terrified. And we just went to school the next day, and we're like, we don't speak of this again.
We'll just pull the plug on this.
It was literally the power button on the modem was like, bang, power off. We won't play that again.
The next time,
like things like that you remember, things like that, it just sticks with you.
Oh, it does. It does, like you say, it instills memories into you. Gaming is just great that way. I mean, they could be positive, happy memories. They could be shit scary memories. I think we've all been there with the jump scare in certain games.
I mean, that one with the Resident Evil one was the very first time that I was like, oh my god, absolutely like terrified.
There you go. Well, Kiffer, I mean, we've reached the end of the questions that I've got for you there, buddy.
Great.
It's been great chatting to you.
It's been awesome. No, it's been really good.
We've got a nice insight into what makes Kiffer tick when it comes to the gaming world, guys. And Kiffer doesn't do much in the way of streaming games. He'll have the odd gaming stream that comes out, but he's more, you do your powerlifting, you do your ice baths and stuff. You do a lot of charity work, a lot of mental health work.
The charity and mental health stuff will be definitely continuing throughout the rest of the year. Obviously, November, December will be my ice bath annual prostate cancer research. One that's a given. I would like to maybe do, as a now and again, maybe do like something retro, maybe. I have got my CRT TV set up in my daughter's room actually, and it's got my PS2 on it. So obviously I've got the access to play PS1 and PS2 on it. So I should really do something. It's set up, ready to go. It's just literally plug it in and play. So I might make a conscious effort maybe now that we've done this, maybe to sort of maybe just do sort of maybe one a month or something like that. Just see what happens.
Let us know, buddy, because I will definitely support it 100%. I mean, my life, I just point the camera. There's nothing fancy with mine. I point the camera at the TV and play my game, and that's it. So 100%, man. You get into that, and I'm sure the people here will support you as well. It's not just
it's good. No, I mean, obviously everyone's been great in this little community that we've got. Even though I don't game like yourself, Red, Stinks, and everyone else, but obviously I know you guys all come into my lives and support my videos and whatnot. Obviously the video I posted up yesterday of my new PB and whatnot has had great response from Simsy and yourself and Jeff and whatnot. And it's nice even though I don't do the gaming side of things as much as you guys do. It's still nice. You're all a big part of what I do, and I do appreciate it. It does mean a lot.
This is the thing, man. You still game. We get on that level because we all like gaming. So we're there to support each other through and through. It's the community that the guys are building, and I'm lucky enough to be helping, build. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I never thought this time last year, tuning in to Stinks and stuff, sitting there lurking, just chatting away, I'd be in the position I am now. So it's amazing what can come out of this little community we've got. It's brilliant. It really is.
You've done the first one, and it was such a good watch and such a good listen. It was great. And obviously, I said if you were ever to do another one, I said count me in, even though I'm not like an active gaming streamer, but obviously with gaming experiences and like stories and what I played and whatnot, it's just nice to talk. I mean, I love gaming. It's great. It's just obviously the newer stuff is just, I don't know. I've just lost touch with the newer stuff. Like obviously, priorities and whatnot, and affordability and stuff like that. Things are more expensive now, and it's just a case. Sadly, it's took a back seat in terms of my priorities, but. The retro stuff. I mean, cool. Yeah, I'm all for it.
He's for it, lads.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Well, Kiffer, it has been absolutely brilliant to chat to you there, mate.
It's been awesome, mate. My pleasure. It's been great.
Thank you very much for coming on, and thanks for taking the time out to chat to us there. It's been
no worries. Great stuff, mate. I will. I'll mute my mic for Red's turn.
No worries at all. So guys,
thanks again, everyone. Thank you. Thanks, Tree.
No worries at all, Kiffer, buddy.
Cheers.
If you guys could all follow Kiffer or just, drop him a like, drop him a follow, go and see what it's about. He's got all kinds of stuff on his page, ranging from powerlifting and stuff. Everyone needs to see Kiffer's thighs at some stage. It's a great thing to see, let me tell you. Woo-hoo. So now we'll invite Red over into the hot seat.
Howdy.
How are you keeping, Red? Are you well?
I'm not too bad, thank you. How about yourself?
Look, I'm kept going, buddy. I'm kept going. I can't complain at all. So, I mean, it's a tough act to follow there with Kiffer is...
I know. I don't know how I'm going to top that now.
It was a bit like last week. The last one, we started off with Andy. He's a podcaster. And it was just... Well, Simsy followed then, didn't it? And then Shadow Red Stinks. It was just kind of a hard act to follow, but... We'll get you through there, mate.
I'm going to try my best.
That's all we can do, Red. That's all we can do. I mean, I can just waffle on and talk for England, Ireland, and the rest of Europe. But yeah, I mean, I'll give you the mic for a few minutes there, mate. You tell people what you're all about, and I'll step in a few minutes.
Cool. So for those that do know me in the chat, obviously are aware that I tend to stream occasionally when I can. I also love my retro stuff. I also am trying to simply do a load of like trailer reactions and movie sort of reactions, like out of the cinema kind of thing, for any type of new film that's just come out, because I love my films and my TV shows. I also love to collect old sort of retro like memorabilia, so like toys and things like that I've had over the years as a kid.
Kind of shelves in the room.
What else? I also have a load of games consoles that I'm currently working my way through. I'm trying to get like every sort of console that I've either owned in the past or haven't really ever played on before, and try and get like a brand new type of experience out of it, like most of you lot with like your N64s and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, the N64 for me was a pinnacle of gaming. It really was.
I was just never brought up on it, like not ever at all. Same with the Mega Drive and the NES. Like none of that was like ever brought into my sort of upbringing.
Wow. Well, at least you'll be able to kind of live through it for the first time. You know, there's some great titles in there that I could suggest to you on the N64. You see me play Donkey Kong. You see me play Mario, Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. 4 titles off the top of my head there that I'd say you'd love to play.
Yeah.
You may not, I don't know. But they'd be 4 that I'd definitely suggest to you to get and play. 100% Red. So yeah, I mean, you're actually going back into streaming, I hear, this week, are you? Hopefully.
I'm hoping to, yeah.
It's
been a long while since I've done it. I think the last time I streamed ever was some point around October, November time last year.
I remember coming into one of your streams there. It probably would have been towards the back end of last year, to be fair, yeah.
So I was playing Little Nightmares 3 with Rich.
I remember seeing the video actually, yeah, and everything kind of going arseways for you. Was it the game rendering or something, or the live just wasn't marrying up, and one of you was running off, the other was lagging?
It was just a laggy mess. Like, don't get me wrong, we still had a good sort of laugh with it. It was funny, but it was lagging badly. It was like I ended up kind of like plowing into the walls. I ended up falling to my death, and I'm just like, what is going on? It was broken.
But that's something that can kind of make you revisit a game again, just that humor aspect, especially when you co-op.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, you know, what was I going to say? Yeah, just little kind of what's the word now? Bloopers, we'd call it, within the games will just, like Lee and Kiffer were saying, bring back memories and spark up new memories for you. It's amazing how things work.
Yeah, that's it. It like almost like when you'd watch like old movies. So, like for example, Rush Hour or something. By the end of the movie, you'd have the end credits, and you get all the bloopers for them just acting like idiots because they couldn't remember their lines and things like that. It was almost like that for me and Rich with Little Nightmares. It was just absolutely stupid, but it was really funny.
I remember seeing, well, they were always the good ones with Jackie Chan there at the end, and he'd be doing a stunt or something would go wrong, and you just play it off all nice and cool, and then end up laughing, or the co-stars laughing, and they're the best part of the film. They really are the best part of the film, buddy. Now, I'm not going to catch you off guard with any more questions like that, and we'll just dive straight into the pre-approved stuff, would say. So my first question is, I mean, you've kind of answered most of this one already, mate, but you know, what does your system and your gaming library look like? What kind of stuff do you have?
So at the minute, I currently have the PlayStation 1 Slim, the PS2 Slim, the PS3 Slim, the Nintendo Wii, the Xbox Series S, the Xbox One S, and the Wii Mini, and that's currently it. Oh, and the PlayStation Portal at the moment.
You got a nice few consoles and handheld and stuff there, mate. Like, it's a nice variety as well, because I mean, is the Xbox S, that's more modern, isn't it? Well, one of the more modern consoles, would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think my last Xbox is the Xbox One that I had. A few 360 Elites that all subsided to the old red ring of death, unfortunately, and I suppose that's the way they all went, wasn't it?
Yeah, I remember. So I had my dad ended up having the Xbox 360 in black, and he ended up giving it to me just because he wasn't really into gaming much anymore. He kind of like faded out of it, so he passed it on to me. I had it for a good few years, and then it caught red ring of death, and I was like, no. So I ended up having to rebuy a new one. So in the end, just because you know, as I mentioned earlier, like movies and things like that, I kind of wanted to get something that I've never really had before, and they're like the things like the limited edition type consoles. So I went with the Star Wars 360 Xbox.
Yes. and that's where you went there just for because they all had the faces and stuff on them, didn't they? That was kind of limited to that console, and you had the controllers as well, didn't you? And
I just get a good little chuckle out of it when R2D2 kind of like makes noises when you turn the Xbox on. Like I get like the odd little kick of a giggle.
I was gonna say, like, did it make a different noise? But I didn't want to sound stupid and think no, it didn't. But there you go. Obviously, it did.
Yeah, some of them did. I think there's a Halo one that would make a sort of weird noise when you powered it on. I believe there's a Gears of War one as well, but obviously people in the chat can correct me on that one.
I'm sure Kifra's probably eyed that one up if he has. I know he's spoke on that, didn't he? He loves his Gears of War. My brother, he had that many consoles growing up. I've lost count of what he had. He was the true gamer between us both. I mean, I love my games, but he kind of stuck with it through his teens, early adulthood. I think he's kind of getting out of it now. He's discovered women at the age of 30, 34. So he's a happy man in other aspects of life. So fair play to him. But good luck.
Sounds good to me.
So, like, what kind of games got you into gaming originally, Red?
Oh God! Now you're asking. Well, obviously for me, it was always the PlayStation 1 that started it all off, and games like, so like your Harry Potters, the Rugrats, Spider-Man, and then whenever I go and visit my nan on weekends, I would end up seeing like a different kind of variety that my uncle would have. So you'd have things like Crash Bandicoot, Resident Evil, Rayman, Oddworld, I think was another. I don't think he had things like GTA on the PS1 or anything like that. But it was just any time I went to visit my nan, my uncle would have very sort of polar opposite kind of games that I would never have even like seen or hear of before. And that would be my way of being introduced to those type of games.
That's a great thing there, you know, having someone that does play a different genre of game or a different style of game, and having that option. You probably don't get it anymore now because it's all digital. Well, a lot of it's digital gaming, but nipping around to someone's house, oh, geez, if I borrow you this game, will you borrow me that game? And
yeah, exactly. It's like it's same with Pokemon as well. So if I remember rightly, for me, I'm not 100% sure, but it's either the GameCube or it was the Game Boy, where Pokemon Blue or Silver or Pokemon Colosseum was my first introduction to any kind of Pokemon game at all. Because again, I didn't even know they were a thing either. It wasn't until like one of my neighbors who had a Game Boy himself, he had both Pokemon Blue and Silver, and he kindly just said, look, do you want it? I don't really play it anymore, so you're more than welcome to have one for yourself and experience that. I was like, great. So I ended up experiencing that. And then I found out that whilst I was playing Pokemon through the Game Boy, anytime I got so incredibly far into the game itself, but had to go to school or do other like home chores, so like washing dishes and things like that, and had to put the handheld to one side and come back, it's like if it died and I turned it back on, I'd always made sure I saved it, but if it died and I turned it back on and pressed continue on, it would never come back to where I left, you know, where I had currently left it, and it just kept having this problem. But for the life of me, I never actually knew what the issue was. It wasn't until I think Stinks might have told me in one of his lives, it might have had something to do with the battery needing changing. But again, that was something I never knew of or heard about back in the day. I didn't know you had to change the battery in order for it to still leave off where you had currently saved it.
There's a small cell battery inside the cartridge, wasn't there, that kind of held the save data on them? Yeah. I remember that myself. Either that or it kind of got fried before, because I know obviously with the Pokemon games there was all the glitches, wasn't there? The Mew glitch, the Missingo, and if you did the wrong thing at the wrong time, you could flip the cartridge very easily.
It's just, it's little things like that where it's just like I spent so many years and then just never knew about it until you join someone else's live, and they're the ones to basically tell you years later on. It's like, well, that's no good now. I'm older.
Hindsight was brilliant, wasn't it? Like, but no, it's not.
Like, where were you when I actually needed that information back then?
Exactly. What were you doing, Stinks, back then? Come on. I remember actually myself, my brother, going back to the Nintendo 64, we had Pokemon Stadium, and you'd have the adapter for the back of the N64 controller where you could plug your Game Boy games into it and play them on the big screen. My little brother grinded. He must have been on it for 7 or 8 hours, and he grinded and grinded and grinded, and he was a bugger. He never saved the games. And the dog came running in from a walk and tore the controller out of the console, which just crashed the entire game, because obviously the game's in the controller being played through, crashed everything. Oh, the tears
that would have been horrible back then. God.
Oh, the dog, bless him. The poor dog, he hid under the old the table down beyond him. He had a Yorkshire Terrier at the time. Like, oh, I'll never forget that. Again, another way that gaming keeps memories in your brain. I must have been 7 or 8 now. Let me think now. I was probably about 13 back then. Anyway, we won't talk about my age any more than we have to. Like, so. So what would be your all-time favourite game then, Red?
Oh God! Now you're really asking. I don't know, because when you sent me these questions the other day, and I read through them, and it came to this type of question, I'm just sat there thinking for about an hour straight, maybe more, because there's so many. There's just so many good ones that I just can't really choose from. But if I had to really pick one, I'd probably say the Harry Potter games, only because it's what I grew up with, and they were the one type of games I would refuse to ever let go as I got older.
Okay. And what was it that made the Harry Potter games so special for you?
Well, just like the films, they're just magical, they're captivating, like you really do feel immersed in the world of Hogwarts, and you get to do things like Quidditch and spell casting and things like that, and it's just magical, and it just really does kind of take your whole sort of reality away for just a good amount of time.
It's either a short space of time or a long space of time, depending on what you play on it. So did the games encapsulate the movie and the book pretty well? Like, was the story kind of matching up to what you was expecting?
I mean, I can't really speak for the books purely because I still haven't to this day read any, and that's
There's no shame. There's no shame in that.
Don't get me wrong, I have tried. Like, I really, really have tried several times. I can't do it, and that's purely is to do with my, being dyslexic and whatnot. Like, I just can't do it. But I also know that there are people out there that do say, you could try audiobooks and things like that, and I just don't like the idea of doing that, because it's like I want to be able to visually see it, like, on a screen. That's how I can do it.
Okay.
If I can't see it, then I can't focus.
Fair enough. Yeah, your mind would kind of wander from one thing to the next and just pick and choose, and you won't be able to concentrate fully on what you were getting. No, I can feel that, man. I do feel that. So, are you more of an old school Harry Potter fan then? And would I be right in saying that, if you was to, because I know you're big into your films as well, obviously, as you've told us, what would be your most favourite game that's originated from a film? Or vice versa, a film that's originated from a game? Because I know they can swing both ways.
Yeah, so, I mean, there are a few that come to mind. So things like Spider-Man 2 were based around the Tobey Maguire movies. That was like probably one of the best Spider-Man games that had ever come out back then. Obviously, you've got the brand newer ones, which are really, really good. But if we're going back retro-wise, that would be one of my all-time favourites. You have things like, as I mentioned, the Harry Potter games as well. I think my ultimate favourite Harry Potter game would be Order of the Phoenix. Just because I enjoyed the film as well. I also looked
I-
at your TV show based on games. So things like Simpsons Hit and Run. That was another one that I really, really enjoy an awful lot. I love the Scooby Doo games. So I guess for me, I'm very much different to other people that game. So I like things that are always movie or TV show based related.
That's why I thought there I'd just sneak that question in. It's one that I came up with on the spot for you, and I apologise for that, but it was just something that kind of hit me there. Obviously, we were saying you do love your movie reviews and stuff.
Yeah.
Having such a crossover, I thought, we kind of get your insight into that as well. So sorry to put you on the spot, but I felt like it was a good time to hit you with that one.
No, that's okay. I mean, like I said, it's a good question because so many people, such as whether it be yourself or Stinks or Chris, that was saying earlier, like you like things like your Gears of War, your GTA's, your FIFA's, your Mario's, your Donkey Kongs, and things like that. But for me, obviously, I'm very much polar opposite. I like things that have to do with a movie or a TV show that are based on.
Yeah, that's been brought out around the movie or the game. Well, sorry, the movie or the series.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's exactly what me and Kiffer were saying earlier on as well. Like you say, is we're all gamers. We all have something in common, but there's so many different avenues we can go down as gamers and different branches, different games we play, different genres we like. So yeah, it's just nice to get somebody else's take on it. And obviously knowing your background there with the games and stuff, I just thought, like I say, we'll get that one in there. We'll sneak that one in and hope for the best. So I mean, we've talked about which kind of games were good for you, which ones you've enjoyed and stuff. But what's the biggest disappointment in a game you've ever found, man?
Oh, oh, Stinks will probably know this one. So I've got two, but one of them that I have in mind isn't as bad. So I can tolerate it to an extent, even though it's not good. And that being Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Like, I really despise that one. But my all-time game that I hate the most would be Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which was the next installment of the Batman Arkham franchise. I hate it with a passion.
I could almost hear it in your voice. You surprised me with the first one there when you said Harry Potter. I was like, whoa. I was just stopped in my tracks for a second, and I was like, wow, okay. But yeah, I can hear the hatred in your voice for the Batman Arkham Asylum there.
Yeah, I don't like Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. It pretty much did the most dirtiest thing to poor Kevin Conroy, may he rest in peace. Because, as a child, I was brought up on the animated Batman TV show, and games like Batman Vengeance and things like that that had Kevin Conroy voice Batman again, and then you got Mark Hamill as the Joker. It's like it just annoyed me more because of what they did to him. Obviously, I don't think it probably bothered Kevin himself because he got a good big pay rise out of it.
Yeah.
Like he sat there and went, you know what, I'm living life to the fullest because I get paid for this no matter how bad it is. But to me, it's like, nah, you were done dirty and I'd hate it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say there. They done him dirty. In the words of Red Dead Redemption.
I don't know I know Stinks has, but for anyone that hasn't played it, I will spoil it as to what's annoyed me the most about that game. So cover your ears if you don't want to hear me say it, or kind of tune out a little bit. So I'll give you a 3-second countdown. 3,
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
1. Harley Quinn shoots Batman in the forehead, and I hate it. Like, he wears body armor and everything, and he sat there on a park bench and she just shoots him point blank with a revolver in the forehead. And I'm like, that's how you kill off Kevin Conroy before he died.
But do you know what? That was always his weak spot, wasn't it? With Batman. I've always said this. It's always been his head and his mouth.
In his mouthpiece, yeah, but like there are so many times where they do tend to shoot him in like the top of his forehead or the side of his head, and the bullet will just project right on off of the mask itself. It will just bounce off.
Did they address that in one of the more modern Batman films where they made a heap of the masks for him and were
I
breaking?
believe so. Yeah, I think it was in something like Dawn of Justice, and you had like one of the armed thugs literally walk up to his head and shoot him in the head, and it just bounces off. Nothing happens. But you make Harley Quinn, of all people, shoot Kevin Conroy, and he dies on a park bench.
Well, what can you say to that? Like, I mean, poor fella. Literally.
Yeah. And then what else bothers me about that game a whole lot more is, you know, like we had four, well, should I say three incredible games by Rocksteady, because Arkham Origins was made by Warner Brothers Montreal, so they didn't do that one, but it still kind of like ties in with the three Arkham games themselves. And what bothers me more is the whole the Justice League are apparently clones, or at least that's what they end up trying to change through the DLCs and things like that once the game was up, because originally they weren't clones, they were actually the Justice League. You kill them off, and then because the game was getting such a bad heap and bad reviews and things like that within the first year that everyone was playing it, they decided to change their minds and go, no, they weren't real. They weren't the real Justice League. They were just clones. No. Don't give me that rubbish. You just did that because you knew your game sucks.
It's another way of showing there, though, how easily, you know, especially with the old Marvel, the DC, how they can change stuff. I mean, there's big hype there at the minute about Endgame being changed, isn't there, to suit the new Doctor Doom release. And like you were saying there, you know, 5 years down the line, well, it's not what you think, guys. I mean, they were clones. They
weren't real. They were just clones. We just thought we'd add that in. No, you just did it because your game sucks.
You're lying to us all the time. Definitely. So, I mean, we've got over your big disappointments there, and I still can't get over the Harry Potter one. I thought, you know, you was going to love all the Harry Potters, but here we are. You've surprised us now, Red.
Yeah, the thing is, right, like, I do love the Harry Potter games, but that one is the weakest. I mean, there are a few people that will say, like, Deathly Hallows Part 1 is obviously another weak one in the franchise because they kind of turned it into an RPG type game. It doesn't bother me with those ones. I can kind of live with it, but that one just kind of upsets me the most. I just hate it, but I can tolerate it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like you could still play it. You could bring yourself to play it.
Yeah,
it won't be the first there on the top of the list, like every time.
Like if I had to, which I would like to at some point down the line, but play through them all again. When I get to the fourth one, I will be sitting there going, ugh, do I have to?
Please, come on. Do I have to get through this? Yeah, unfortunately, Red. Now you said you were going to, so you're going to have to. So now, like, we've spoke about your great games and we've spoke about, you know, your big disappointments, buddy. But, you know, what kind of games are you looking forward to being released in the future? I mean, are you hoping for any certain sequels or remakes to come out of any games, or?
So I've got a few that I have in mind. One of them being the brand new Wolverine game that Insomniac are doing, who did the three Spider-Man games. I'm really looking forward to that because I think it'd be about time that they kind of do something a little bit different other than Spider-Man. Obviously, I understand that Spider-Man and characters like Batman and Superman are like the biggest IPs out there that everyone loves, which I can understand why. But it's time to kind of like, it would be nice to just change it up a little bit. I mean, if anything, if I had to pick someone other than Wolverine to get a game, I'd love characters like Daredevil to get something like a game. I know there was one in the making a long time ago, but then they cancelled it and things like that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. As for other questions to things like, do I want like other games for us to get a sequel? The other answer to that, I'd probably say I'd want Star Wars The Force Unleashed 3 to actually happen, even though it won't, purely because Disney now own the rights to Star Wars, and at the time that Force Unleashed 1 and 2 had ever come out, they were made by obviously LucasArts Games kind of thing. But they left the second game on a cliffhanger, and it annoys me because I want to know if the main character of that game is well and truly a clone. And because it's left on a cliffhanger, you kind of every time you go back and replay it, you're just like, oh, I want to know more, but they won't do it.
There you go, though, mate. I mean, that's the kind of thing that games can do for you. They'll give you the cliffhanger, they'll drop the bit of cheese there, and then you're sat waiting and waiting and waiting.
I'm still waiting. I mean, they have the guy that voices the main character in that game obviously was in a recent interview by someone, and a lot of people do bring it up, saying, "Is there any sort of hope for Starkiller, who you voiced as the main character in those games, to ever come back? And if so, how would you do it? Or would you like to see him in a film or a TV show? And if so, do you think they'll have to depower him just because he's like so incredibly OP with the Force and everything else? Like he's so incredibly over the top with his abilities. It's unreal."
There you go. I mean, I suppose that's kind of what might lead me on to my final question for you then. Like, kind of, what makes the perfect game for you? What kind of gets you sitting there wanting something to come out and does it?
For me, it's definitely story. Like things like The Last of Us, that has a really captivating, engaging story with such incredible characters that you fall in love with in an instant. I mean, the first 20 minutes or so of the first Last of Us game had me in tears, and then obviously then you come in to meet other characters along the way, and then you find out about their fates as well, and then you start kind of getting teary-eyed and emotional. It's like, but I like that character, and then they kind of kick the bucket as well. It's like, this is a shame, but it keeps you going and wanting more, and the hours just fly by, pretty much like what Chris said with things that he plays as well.
There you go, guys. I mean, it is a big aspect of a game is having a good story. It is really important. I mean, there's no point having a great game out there, top graphics, everything else, and the story just sucking because, well, there's just not, especially for us gamers.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, story it is a huge part of any game, and I can see exactly what you mean there, mate. Especially with some of the stories you've been talking about, like the Harry Potter games. There's a huge story there, right from the very first one, right to the very end. It's something that we all need to bear in mind when it comes to games. I mean, we can all play games that just require a bit of button bashing, to get a bit of release from it. But to really immerse yourself into a game, the storyline does have to hit the spot, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've always said to so many people, even my friends and families, for so long, it's like, I'm not, as much as it's lovely to have all these newer games with all these great graphics and things like that, but if they were to do, like, if they were to bring back the games that we all played with the same graphics then to now, it wouldn't bother me as long as the story is actually captivating. So like games like Jak and Daxter or Ratchet and Clank or Crash Bandicoot, like there is a story that is there for you to enjoy, whether that just be for a laugh or to make you cry or to make you cheery or just to simply pass the time. Or better yet, when you've got games that can have your friends sat right beside you with couch co-op. Like, I really love those kind of games. I much prefer couch co-op than I do with online co-op.
Well, that's it. It brings a realness to the game, doesn't it? An aspect of being there with your friends in the moment.
Yeah.
Playing.
I mean, as I mentioned a little earlier on with like playing Little Nightmares 3 with Rich, as much of a fun laugh that I had out of it, it wasn't quite the same because I know Rich is on the other side of the phone just as much as I am. It's like it's still fun, it's still engaging, I'm still having a good laugh, I'm still communicating with people in the chat as well, but nothing compares to having someone sat right beside you and doing it that way. And I wish more games would kind of like bring that kind of back.
Hopefully it's something we'll see in the future. You know, you can't hold your breath, but I mean,
the only games that I know that still do it is obviously the Lego games, which, you know, there is one coming out in literally 2 days' time if you've pre-ordered the deluxe edition, which I have, and I'm looking forward to it. But it'd just be nice to have someone to want to do it and join in with you.
Play with you, yeah. That's what my two little girls do play. They love the Lego games, Lego City Undercover. They've just got another couple there, Ninja game as well for the Lego. And, you know, they'd sit in here for hours and play, but Minecraft's a big one for them now as well.
Yeah.
They play that side by side, and when their friends come around after school, they sit there in their own private server and just mine and fall out about who stole whose bed and where did this go and where did that go. It's like, oh my goodness me, why did we introduce you to gaming at all? But
this is exactly why I love things like the Nintendo Wii as well, because I remember when that first came out and you got games like Wii Sports and then Mario Kart Wii, and having such a big family with, you know, more than one sibling, you got like 3 or 4 siblings, and then your mum and your dad, and then obviously your aunts, your uncles, and things like that come round and pay you a little quick visit. Things like the Wii were always good fun for that kind of thing.
It was, and like that now, them kind of games are starting to drop off a little bit, aren't they? Like with the Wii and stuff, and people are going into like a lonelier aspect of gaming as you know, as gaming advances. You know, we're kind of in our own little shells and stuff. But no, it's something that we do need to kind of bear in mind when it comes to gaming, especially with our kids. You know, sitting on the sofa with them, making memories.
Well, that's just it. It's like, you know, with yourself and Chris and Stacey, like, and Stinks, like, all you guys have, you know, you have children of your own, so that is a brilliant and perfect way to introduce them to gaming, so then you can enjoy alongside with them and create those fun memories that you used to have back in the day alongside with them.
And that's exactly why we do it. That's what got me back into gaming again, mate. I had a glorified DVD player, as I call it, which was the Xbox One, that sat in the bedroom for the last 10 years and did nothing. Then we got the Switch 2. We started playing, you know, Mario Karts, a few little bits and that, and then they love it. They even join in with Richard's live streams for Mario Kart World. You know, they get involved. They play. They're a lot better than I fucking am at the game. Let me tell you. But yeah, that's just gaming, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Right then, Red. I want to thank you very much for taking up the chair this evening, buddy, and joining us, because we have a special guest who has just joined us. She is going to be, well, in fact, sorry, I'll introduce her in a second. But yeah, thanks, Red, for coming on. I really appreciate you giving the time out, mate, and having the chat with us and giving us an aspect into your gaming life. And guys, if you don't already, drop Red a follow, because he's going to be going live from hopefully sometime this week. I think it's Tuesday, maybe later. You know, he's a great guy, and if you want to be laughing at his reviews and his cosplays and stuff, you know, he's a great guy to have come up on your FYP. So please do drop Red a follow, guys.
Thank you for having me.
No worries at all, Red. It's been a pleasure, my friend. Been an absolute pleasure.
Well, I shall now leave you in the lovely, capable hands of Stacey.
Thank you very much. And yeah, without further ado, we'd like to invite our first ever female guest panel up onto the chair. So yeah, Stacey, it's great to have you in.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Tree. Good evening, all.
How are you keeping, Stacey?
I'm doing all right. Thank you very much.
Lovely stuff.
Nice
Lovely
to
stuff.
nice to be here representing the girls.
Well, we did have a lady booked in. I don't know if you missed the start of the live. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to fulfill it this evening. She's meant to come on still, but she had medical problems that needed to be sorted, and that's health and family come well above me in the list of things that need to be done.
Yeah.
But yeah, she is. She's. In fact, you probably know Bridgine, do you? She comes into Stinks' live now and again. Yeah. So she will be joining us at some stage. But you've pipped to the post on the first female guest, so congratulations. And,
Thank you.
It only took me one stream before this to get my first female guest, which is amazing. All for equality and stuff,
Nice.
It's nice to. There you go. Even Gemji is there. She's in there giving you some whoop for the girls. Let's go. But no, it'd be nice to get
girls. Absolutely.
It'd be nice to get more female representation, like, because girls game. Girls can be very good at gaming.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna definitely say, like, I've seen some great top streamers. I mean, there's a few that I can name there if I needed to, but I'm not going to because I don't want to be dropping names. But yeah, it's great to see people of all ages, all genders. Yeah, we'll say all genders being able to enjoy games.
Funny you mentioned that, Tree, because obviously I'm, a little bit older than a lot of you guys. So I guess just listening to the other two, I don't know, I kind of thought, actually, I guess I've got slightly different experiences in that way because, I like my experiences go right back to, consoles that were released in the 80s and so there was a few that just as everyone else was talking that cropped up and I just kind of thought, oh, actually, I've got a few things that I could drop in here that's obviously, just I guess a bit of a different viewpoint to other people. And
that's exactly what we're about here.
Saying before. Yeah, absolutely. And obviously I know everyone loves their retro, and Red's always been massively into his retro, and he just with him saying about how he was never really brought up, with having things like the NES, and things, so he gets to visit it now later in life. Like that for me is like I guess one of my earliest memories of gaming was the NES.
Holy Grail sort of thing, going back and playing them.
Yeah, I mean, and still with great memories as well. Even to visit now, obviously technology's changed, but we can still go back and revisit without needing the actual console, and having a Switch online and being able just to go back and revisit those. There's a real, I guess, nostalgia around it, and it kind of it's crazy how it can just take you back, and then you start like all these memories just come rushing back to you about who you were playing with and where you were sat and how that looked, and it's nice that it hasn't gone away. Like it's still there, and then you've got obviously a younger generation of gamers that are getting to, I guess, experience that a bit later in their journey and things. So
it's like the retro is the new. The new in a way, or the old new, I suppose, which way you'd look at it now. But stuff that we've already lived through, like you say, we've played through it, we've struggled, we've smashed controllers, we've tore books up, we've pegged stuff at the TV. This is the kind of rage that these guys are going to have to put up with now to play some of these games, which is great.
Absolutely. And like, I've got a bit of a funny story actually. I don't know if you want to wait until like the questions, but so I've recently downloaded Alex Kidd, and I've got really funny memories around this game because it was so difficult. And when as a kid, I mean, and obviously when you play it now and you just think like this is the most basic kind of platform game, and you just kind of the story is almost non-existent, but you kind of get a general gist of what's going on, eventually get to the end and beat the bad guy kind of thing. And it was so hard as a kid and so frustrating. And I was on the Nintendo shop like last week or something. I saw it and I was like, oh my god, I was like, yes, I am absolutely going to beat that game, because do you know what, it was one that I was never able to accomplish after hours and hours and hours. And like as a kid, like I grew up with two brothers, and we were all very much into our gaming and stuff. And I still don't think that any single one of us ever made it to the end of that game as a kid. And I just saw it and I was like, yes, do you know what? I need to try again.
So you're going to take up the mantle and go and smash it this time, hopefully.
I absolutely am. But do you know what? I've played and I'm like, how is this so hard? Like, I mean, obviously it's different now, you know, I've had a lot of gaming experience and all things like that, but I'm like, how is this so hard? But even now I'm like, oh my God, it's so frustrating. See Siobhan, she's the same. Can't beat it either.
The hands up there, that was me.
It was so hard. It was so hard. And well, yeah, so it's, I don't know, it's like, it feels like a coming full circle sometimes, you know?
It's coming back for you again. That's the beauty of retro, like it kind of, the same with clothes, the same with fashion, same with all kinds of stuff. Everything has a cycle and it does come back around again, and some things are just timeless.
Yeah. Absolutely
timeless. Now, I know you haven't had time to prepare any answers, Stace, so this is going to be interesting. This is going to be off the cuff, and
I am winging it tonight, Tree. But do you know what? The questions, they didn't sound that scary, so I thought, do you know what? Actually, I can handle this.
You've got this. Now, I tried to keep things simple, like for your first visit to TreeCast. When you come back again in the future, you know, we can dive a bit deeper into certain things, and I can hit you with something a little bit more tasty, we'd say. But no, I want to keep things nice and simple tonight and give you a couple of minutes, well, give you a minute or so there just to talk to the people, let them know who you are, and get your name out there. So you take the seat for a second, Stace.
Okie dokie. So I'm Stacey. Probably most of you know me anyway from seeing me around in various streams. I mod for a few streamers, and not just mod, but friends with a lot of you. And I absolutely love this community. I think just, you know, there's so many great people here that it's just been so great getting to know everybody. Marie, don't make me say it. I will say it. Shut up, Marie. Anyway, so I am Stacey. I'm a mum, and I think most of you know my story in a sense, but just a general. So my life looks different now to how it used to. And I guess I'm on a journey where I'm learning how to navigate a new life that I didn't choose and things. As my daughter is very poorly and has a brain tumour, and I became her nurse and her carer and her mum and all the things, and it's an ever learning journey with many twists and turns, and it's hard. So I think for me, you know, gaming and being part of a community like this is, you know, certainly for someone who's housebound a lot, having to care for a child, you know, who's not well, it's a great way of still, you know, having that social time and having that enjoyment and getting to enjoy shared hobbies with people. So yes, you might see me knocking around if you don't know who I am, but I'm always around somewhere, often loitering. Sometimes I haven't always got the energy to be, you know, hugely active and present in chat. I don't stream. I have considered it, but again, I have a lot on my plate, so it's just, you know, working out how that would work and things. But yeah, so that's a bit about me, really.
There we go, Stace. And yeah, I mean, you know, following your story and getting to know you there the last year, it's been a privilege, you know, seeing some of the stuff you go through on a day-to-day basis is just unreal. And hats off to you, you know, I mean, Luna's a lovely little girl. The first time I ever saw her video, and well, the video of her, and what was the thing that got me? I've been to the doctors to see what's wrong with my noggin and what the crack is. I was like, oh, brilliant. You know, absolutely amazing. She's such a, not a tribute. She's such a, what's the word I'm looking for now? Oh my God. Yeah, she's
a warrior.
She is, you know, she's
amazing.
She's a tribute to you. She really is.
Thank you.
And you know, your story yourself, I mean, won't go into that too much. We'll try and keep things upbeat for you and keep you in a happy mood, and talk
Thank
about
you.
some of the gaming and stuff. But no, we're always here for guys. This is what the community is all about. We're here to build people up, inspire people, and just to support people, which it's truly amazing. And I'm blessed to be a part of such a great group of people. So thank you everyone for all your support.
Yeah,
A credit to you. There you go. Leah said it. A credit to you. She's a credit to you. So we'll kick things off, and we will talk about your gaming your gaming history and your gaming bits and bobs. And
go on, hit me with
the
it.
first thing I'm going to hit you with is, what is your gaming system and your library look like? So what systems do you own, and what game? Well, give us a rough idea of what games you have for.
Okay, so currently I still have my original N64. That has, moved through life with me, and it still works and it's still going great. I'll talk about a bit more about that later on. I have Nintendo Wii. I have Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Switch 2, and I feel like there's one more that I'm PlayStation 4. And there has been others along the way. There's been Xbox 360. I'm not one of these that like sticks to one. I'm not like a Sega person or a Nintendo person. A PlayStation. I tend to weave my way through depending on things at the time. So
No
so yeah,
brand
and current
loyalty there.
games. Yeah, well, there's a lot out there, and for me, I don't stick to just one kind of brand or genre or thing. It depends on the circumstances, and it depends. I'm like more than like open to trying new games, and in fact, I've played some amazing games from people that have recommended things to me that I wouldn't necessarily have chosen, and ended up, really thoroughly enjoying them. So.
You're making
It's been
reference there
great.
to Hollow Knight and Silk Song, is it?
Although Night Silk Song, and they tell you what, they are tough games, and it wouldn't necessarily have been something that I would have like, oh yeah, I'll give that a try. But again, I heard them knocking round and what people were saying and how hard they are and how much of a challenge it is. And do you know what? Like, it's quite nice. It's quite nice to kind of commit to something like that, because okay, so I'm not like, so Hollow Knight's 112%, I'm on something like 103, 104%, so I'm like, I haven't quite got all the way there, but you know what, I've smashed it, and that's good enough, kind of thing. So I may go back, I may not, not, but I've really enjoyed challenging myself and pushing myself. And again, like I said about Alex Kidd, it's a tough game. So, I guess sometimes it's about that accomplishment of wanting to, do you know what, I can do this, and I can keep working through it, and I can keep practicing and keep trying. And you find your own little ways that work for you, and then you store it all in your brain so that when you're doing runs of it, suddenly you see yourself making this progress, and you're like, no, I can do this bit now, like I've moved past that, that's no longer a hurdle for me because I've got it. And yeah, I kind of like, I like it, I like the challenge.
It keeps bringing you on. It's like,
at the moment, what am I playing at the moment? I'm playing Witcher 3 Wild Hunt has been one of my more recent ones. My main console I play on at the moment is my Switch 2. I've got quite an ever expanding library on there. My PS4 has pretty much been relegated to my daughter. She loves a bit of Minecraft, Roblox, as they do. My son's got his PS4 as well, and he saved up all his Christmas money to get himself a gaming PC. So that is just awaiting being built, and then he might be retiring his PS4 as well.
wow.
What else have I played recently? I can't really think. I dip in and out at the moment. I'm not like just on solidly one game, because when I was playing Hollow Knight and Silk Song, I played Hollow Knight basically all the way through, did not stop, did not play anything else, and then I went straight on to Silk Song and played that through, did not stop, did not play anything else. And I think at the moment I'm kind of enjoying just dipping in and out and not necessarily having that massive commitment of pushing through it all the time. So
It's the beauty of gaming. There's always a save state or a place where you can save and pick it up again another day. It's
absolutely.
it's not like live where you have to hit
And it
every
doesn't
day one
take
after
much
the other.
Yeah, and it doesn't take much to get back into the swing of it, kind of thing. You can take a break, and then you've almost got that like muscle memory, haven't you, where you can just get straight back into your zone again. You might need a run or two just to kind of, oh yeah, that does that and that, and then you're just in it again. So yeah,
that's it. That's truly a great thing about gaming. Like, you could leave the game down for 10 years or 10 minutes and come back and you're still in the same place. And like you say, muscle memory. When you're playing certain games there, I started playing games like Mario 64, Banjo-Kazooie and stuff on the Switch 2 with the Joy-Cons and the Pro Controller, and I didn't like it. The C buttons weren't where you wanted them to be, this, that, and the other. As soon as I picked up the N64 controller for the Switch 2, bang. It's like I was back playing it again as a kid. So
yeah, that's it. And you find what works for you. And everyone's got their own preference about what feels comfortable. And I would say the one thing that annoys me is like if you're switching from like PlayStation to Switch. So on a PlayStation controller, your X button is the down, the like obviously in the diamond shape, it's the bottom one. On the Switch, it's the circle, which is to the side. So it does take a kind of like, oh yeah, it's this controller kind of thing. But again, it's almost like your brain just remembers.
Yeah, there's something inside you, it takes you back and you're like, oh, brilliant. Yeah, this feels natural again now. It's great. So what kind of games got you into gaming originally, Stace?
So I say I'm old school. I'm an 80s girl. And so for me, Tetris, so we had, like, as kids, we had a Game Boy in the house. I ended up getting a Sega Game Gear, which I don't know if many of you know, it's the Sega version of a, handheld, very old school. And then we inherited my uncle's NES, because they were kind of teenage years, and we used to play it with them. From very, very, very young. I can remember being up in in their bedroom playing Super Mario and Tetris and and all of that from like way, way young. And then we inherited that when they were kind of like, oh, we're not really into gaming anymore, and they've sort of grown up and moved on from that. So we got the NES. And so it was just, and I mean, I remember at points it was a real family affair, because my mum's like not into gaming or anything like that, but she would absolutely love Tetris. And we'd all, me, my mum, my brothers would take it in turns to like try and beat certain levels, or we'd challenge ourselves to put it on like a higher starting speed or, whatever. And we'd just like, and that was like a real family affair kind of thing. So it was nice, and I have a lot of memories from that being like a shared thing. And then obviously, Super Mario, just, being the all-time classic kind of. Yeah, absolutely. And then there was a game, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like an Olympics kind of themed game. And there was all different sports, and you'd represent different countries, and you'd like, so it was two player. And obviously the NES controllers, they're a proper like rectangle, like the corners when you're like proper getting into it and you're like really gripping it, like they would hurt, and you'd end up with like the indents like and really sore parts on your hand where you're gripping the controller. But we used to have a bit of a hack, me and my brothers, where, because you've got the A and B button on the sprints, or something like maybe a long jump or a pole vault or something like that, and you've got to run really fast, and it was like A B A B A B A B, and you'd have to like as quick as you can. And we were working out all these hacks of like, how can we do it quickest so that we could beat the other. And we ended up, the best one we found was like this battery hack, and we used to have a AA battery, and you'd use the battery and just rub it as if imagine you were like scratching off a scratch card.
Yep.
But you just rub it across the A and B buttons, and you could do that quicker than you could press A B A B A B A B A B. And so we were there just with like batteries like rubbing them across the buttons, trying, and you'd be squeezing it so hard to try and like do it as quick as you can. And, it's just things like that. It's great memories, really, really great memories.
It brings you back the original button mashing, literally.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And trying to hack it in the best way that you can with like this literal rectangle, like with sharp corners and just
I remember
great memories.
The NES actually had it had the smaller rectangle console that came with the console, but you could also buy a bigger version with a joystick on it and two big buttons. I remember having one of them.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was a certain add-on now, so it was a great old game. So with you saying Tetris there, it was kind of one of the games that got you into it. What would be your all-time favorite game? Modern, retro, it doesn't matter.
I think this is a tough one for me, but again, so I think I've spoken before about like the proper nostalgia. Now, for me, again, it like gaming's very much like a community thing, and as much as I love sitting and really getting into a game by myself, for me, it's always been sharing that with the people around us, because we as kids we didn't have a console each or anything like that, so it was us, all three of us, sat round and having to share it and take turns and always constantly trying to one up each other and all of that. And then as time went on, they tended to be bought for us for, I guess, like a shared present at like Christmas time maybe. And I remember we had a huge surprise where we had the Sega Saturn, which I don't know if anyone remember, but it's the first disc game that came before the GameCube. They were on a CD disc, and it was like this, wow, my God, we got a Sega Saturn. And so just talking about the memories of that, like the races on Wipeout, don't know if anyone's ever played, they're like little spaceship flying things, and you'd race, and it was just like, honestly, the hours and the hours and the hours that we'd spend just, as siblings, just like constantly trying to like smash these games and playing together and sharing that. And it's funny because every single one of us now, even as adults, like, are still so heavily into our gaming. It was something that never left any single one of us. But for me, it was when we got the N64. It was pinnacle of gaming. I think you mentioned it before, Tree. And when we had Zelda Ocarina of Time, and for me that game was like, it was revolutionary, because I'd experienced everything that had come before. Not everything, of course, but
yeah.
And you just didn't have games like that. We had like Alex Kidd, and we had Basic Mario, and we had Tetris, and and things like that. And when you look back and you play like Mario Kart, for example, nowadays, and you see how flat and 2D it was, and you just think like, wow, this was amazing back then. But when Zelda Ocarina of Time came out, it was like this, it almost launched us into a whole new generation of gaming, and it felt magical. It felt absolutely magical to almost have a free reign of, like, you don't just have to do what part is like programmed, and you don't have to just finish this level and then move on to the next level. Like, obviously there was a story to it, and there was a journey that you needed to take, but you could go off and you could do your own little things. And I remember just like looking at even not like you say on an old CRT, just looking at the graphics but the 3D and the freedom to just be able to go and explore and ride Epona around and go and do little side quests and go. It was just like, it was groundbreaking for me, I think, as a kid. And that, I think, will never leave me. I'll never forget how, incredible it felt.
I mean, you know yourself, like Ocarina of Time it's definitely my all-time favorite Legend of Zelda game, and I'd say it's probably number 2 on my all-time favorites, only beaten by Mario 64. But as you say, I mean, Ocarina of Time and Mario 64 were groundbreaking games. They set the path, they put the groundwork in. There was so much new stuff that came with them, and pretty much every game now is kind of a long lost sibling. Because without them two games, in my opinion, you wouldn't have a lot of
Absolutely.
games now. Well, you would because someone had invented them, but they're the cornerstone. They really are.
Absolutely.
And then, like
Yeah.
you say, so
Couldn't
many
agree
great
more.
titles came after that,
Absolutely.
didn't they? Whoop, I'm knocking stuff
Yeah,
off the side here. My God.
absolutely.
Now, we've talked about like kind of your big favorite games, and Legend of Zelda has a place in my heart. I will be going back to streaming that soon. I've only got to finish one more boss in Donkey Kong, and we're back to Zelda again. So, I do love my Legend of Zelda. But what game was your biggest disappointment over the years?
So this was a tough one for me. Obviously, I didn't see the questions before, but I think going back to what Red was saying about TV and films, and that kind of extension of having a game to be able to immerse yourself in it in a different way and play it. The one that came to mind for me was Lost. So I absolutely loved the Lost series. The story and the everything. And when I saw that the game had come, I believe it was on the Xbox 360 that I had at the time, I think that I got it on. And, that was like, oh my God, there's a Lost game. And then to play it and then just be so utterly deflated about, do you know what, this could have been so good. And, it, it just did not give me that, like, that vibe at all. So I don't think I actually ever ended up finishing it.
It was one of them that got retired to the game shelf and left behind.
It
I never
did.
knew there was a Lost
It
game.
ended up in CEX. Yeah, there is. Yeah, I'm certain it was on the Xbox 360.
Wow.
Yeah,
No, I
it
mean,
would have been around that time. I try and think about it because I have to think about almost like what sort of part of my life was I in at the time as to what console I had. Because old age and brain
I know.
fog and all of that, I get kind of like, oh, I remember that game, but what did I play it on, and all of that. But yeah, Xbox 360, I think.
So Lost, that's not a title I was expecting to come out at all because, like I say, I didn't know there was a game. I loved watching the series, actually.
Yeah,
We watched it not long ago, myself and Marie again. I've watched it before, but I never watched the ending, and the ending
I
just stood
mean,
me out. But
oh yeah, absolutely, and that but it didn't ruin the entire something like what 10 series or something like that. I can't remember how many years. I know there's a lot,
yeah,
seven maybe, but I so thoroughly enjoyed the show that even the ending didn't like necessarily ruin it for me. I would say I'd recommend you the game, but do you know what? I didn't really think that much of it. However, what I will say is that everyone's got their own, things that they enjoy. Everyone's got their own like things that they can take from game situation, anything. And so give it a try. It'd probably be £1 or something in CEX or
DX.
whatever. Give it a try if you want to. But it just didn't draw me in, not like the series did.
Well, if I ever see a title about the price is right and on a console I own, we might give it a try, but I might just stick to my old Legend of Zelda and
Wait,
Mario for
didn't
the
you
time
get an
being.
Xbox? Did you get an Xbox recently?
No, I've had that Xbox One for
Sure you
about
got.
14, 15 years. I've just dug
Oh,
it
have
out.
you?
It was
Okay.
a glorified Netflix player, is what it was.
Oh, was it?
I
I
have
think
not touched it.
that's what ours ended up being. Ours ended
It's
up being that, and I think it got retired to the charity shop because again, we're kind of, I mean, as much as some of the games when we've spoke about this before, like and I know others have touched on it as well, like having kids now and like getting to revisit those things with them. I mean, gaming is a huge part of my household. My kids love it, and I have, I've shared with them a lot of kind of, the N64 was the first console that my son ever played with, because I was like, look, you need to try this because it's amazing, and he absolutely loved it. And I guess it kind of grew from there. And we had an Xbox 360, and then as he started getting a bit older, we used to, sort of co-play like Rayman, Harry Potter Lego games we 100%ed and stuff, and again, it's just something that for me, like being able to share it with people and like has just been it's just been I think the best thing, because that's always been consistent throughout forever with my brothers when I was a kid, and like going right back to like playing with my uncles when it sat in their room on the NES, to then moving through that and playing with your siblings and then your friends growing up and then with your kids and then with your friends as an adult, the community of it and the shared enjoyment, I think will always be my my main, which is why I'm here. It's exactly why I'm here.
This is it, and it's great to have you back as well on the platform and back in our lives again. Like you say, you're not always there chatting. Sometimes you just see Stacey like the live, Stacey like the live, Stacey like the live. But it's the fact of people, like you say, sharing things with each other, whether it's your children, which for us it is, or just sharing a stream with somebody and just saying hi and good morning to them. It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we've talked about your kind of history with games and stuff, Stace, but is there anything you're kind of looking forward to, being released in the future, or any remakes and stuff? I'm sure Ocarina of Time, if it does come to fruition, may be in there, but is there anything else?
I mean, we can only hope, can't we? I mean, that is absolutely one that I would, we didn't get a birthday celebration for Zelda this year, so I guess we can just kind of hope that that's something that's going to be gifted to us a bit later on in the year. I mean, I see all these articles and things about, could we be getting, the rumors are out there, but it's one of them things we just have to wait and see. But that will absolutely be on my list if it does become a thing. I think as well, one again, maybe not what people are into, but Minecraft Dungeons 2 is due out, I think June, July time. So it's not far off for that. Again, that's something that I've absolutely played hours and hours with my son. We'd both enjoy that. I've played some Minecraft Dungeons, with Link and with,
I've played myself,
others as well who've enjoyed it. Yeah. And yeah, so I think maybe that's one that, because again, you can play together and you can enjoy it, and I know my son will like it, and then others might as well. So I think that's one I'll be adding to my list as well.
I believe I saw, I don't know how true it is, but there's meant to be an entire remake of Minecraft coming out, but it's a full rebuild. It's not like they're changing everything to be a more, I think, less pixelated, but still pixelated, if it makes sense, like a 4K pixel. Okay. It's meant to be off in the distance. Yeah. I don't know how soon, but
yeah, that kind of makes sense. Now, again, Minecraft, like I know we've dipped in a bit, Tree, along the way, that some Minecraft realms and things going on there, like community builds that we were doing and stuff. It's one of them games that I just think, any age can play it. I know the kids love it. It's so popular, and there's stuff in there for everyone, because you can play survival mode and go on a mission, or you can play creative and kind of build and do your own thing and use your imagination and stuff. But again, it's a game that's grown so much over time, that the amount of updates like that have come out, and they've added this and they've added that, and when we've got all these, I still remember from day dot when it was like a new thing. And it was basic, it was your basic like building blocks and your basic mobs and stuff. And now, like, it's developed so much over time that actually that would be like a really nice addition to see it in a different way, like with different with different graphics, and because they haven't moved on from the original graphics in that way. Yes, we've got more complex mobs and characters and things like that, and like trees with like leaves that fall down and that kind of thing. Like, we've got more texture to it, and I don't know what the word, I can't think of the word, when things are like moving by themselves without you having to kind of influence that or anything like that. But I think to really revamp the
entire game again,
the whole design. Yeah, absolutely. I did, just on that subject, actually, I've just just remembered, so we've got a PSVR. I don't know if anyone has ever had a go on Minecraft on VR. All I can tell you is it's absolutely mental. And I mean, it makes me feel a bit sick, to be honest with you, because like the motion and the stuff. So I have to do it in small doses. But again, that's something that we've kind of, look where we are. You can put on your goggles and immerse yourself in it. It's amazing.
I don't know if you've ever seen the film. You probably have at some stage, but Ready Player One. It's a game. It's a movie about gaming. And all that's to do with plugging yourself into, the virtual reality, and you can play all the games. It's definitely a film that I'd suggest for anyone to watch that is into gaming. But yeah, just when you mentioned the VR there and stuff, texture suits.
Is it on Netflix?
It could well be. It's probably on one of the streaming services.
I feel like I've seen. Yeah, I'll have a look for it. I haven't watched it, but yeah, I will do.
There we go. The guys there in the chat, Bennett, Siobhan, Red, they're all saying it gets on Amazon Prime, Kiffer. But it's definitely worth the watch of anyone's time. It's, if you're into gaming, there's a nice storyline to it. Seeing things from a gamer's point of view, and you're like, wow, that'd be pretty cool. And, I remember this from a certain game and that. And there's a touch of nostalgia all the way through the film as well, taking things back to the 80s and 90s, which is pretty cool to see. But,
I love that. I'll definitely give it a watch.
Do if you find time there, Stacey, and you can find it. I would definitely recommend it. But I suppose that brings us on to
unfortunately.
It's not Prime UK. Oh,
yeah, not Prime UK.
I'm sure if you put it into Google, it'll pump it up onto something.
Yeah.
And that's going to bring us then to the final question of the night. And to be fair, now, the 5 questions I've asked you, you've stood up and put you on the spot because you had no prep time. So fair play to you. So this one is just going to come from the heart, really. And what kind of makes a perfect game for you?
Oh, now I think there's 2 sides to this coin for me, because again, so I've spoken about like the community and sharing it with people. So for me, things like your Mario Karts and even now, like sharing a race of Mario Kart is just it's great fun, isn't it? But it's like, and you have a great time, and it's changed so much and it's developed so much, and like it's a whole experience now as well, and especially with the free roam and things being a part of it and stuff. So for me, it's one of the things is absolutely being able to share and enjoy it with someone else, that real co-op playability, even if it's not, you don't have to sit and have 10 rounds of Mario Kart racing. You can just have a couple and have fun and have a laugh, and and it's always a good time. So that's one side of it. And then the other one for me, when I'm thinking about like a game that maybe I'd sit and play for myself, it's about the story. The story needs to grip me. I need to be invested in it. I need to feel like I'm, working towards something at a decent enough pace that doesn't leave me feeling like, what am I even doing here right now? I tend to find I played a lot of Assassin's Creed games back in the day, and as much as I love the franchise and I love the graphics and the gameplay and the characters and all of that, like immersing yourself in that world, I've always found that I reach a point where I'm just like, why am I just running back and doing the same things over and over again? Like it doesn't, it's like you're just on a different part of the map, but you're doing the same things over and over. And I think for me, it's about that, always feeling like you're getting something new, always feeling like it's a new experience, and you've achieved what you've just done, and now you're moving on to something that's maybe a bit harder, or a bit, you have to think about it a bit more, or things like that. And that, again, going back to like Zelda, I always find that you feel like you're working towards something. Ocarina of Time, you know, the dungeons, they get progressively harder. You've got to use more skills, you've got to use more tools, you've got to kind of, you know, like do more puzzles maybe, and it builds. And that's what keeps me gripped and engaged.
Yeah, there was
I
never,
would
in the
say.
older Zelda games and stuff, there was never really an easy spot. There's never an easy game. Well, obviously there was easy times in the game, but if you was approaching a dungeon, you know, you had to work, you had to think, you had to do trial and error, you had to die a few times.
Yeah, absolutely. Who's that? Chaperon there. Yeah. Story, music, soundtrack, Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, absolutely. The music. I mean, I just put random gaming music tracks on my Alexa, you know, because again, it's amazing. It's amazing music, and it takes you to places, and like, yeah, that's a good one.
It's amazing what
Chaperon, you
music can
should
do
be
to
in.
you. I
Yeah,
did
it
offer
is. No,
Chaperon a spot in the seat now, but she said she had nothing to talk about. But to be fair, it's 20 past 10 and she's
well,
still
she
awake.
has.
So she must be
Yeah, she's still
informed.
awake, and she's commenting in chat with her ideas. So yeah,
We may see Chaperon on Volume 3 or Volume 4 somewhere down the line.
let's hope so.
No, like that'd be great to see more female representation come on. And I've got plans for a volume from Australia. So obviously with their time difference, it's going to be awkward and logistics and stuff. But I have 4 people who are interested. And
Amazing.
hopefully now we could bring you some stories from another part of the world. I mean, we've had Ireland, we've had the north of Ireland with Andy, we've had the UK, we've had England, Scotland. No, sorry, we haven't had Scotland yet. We've had Wales with yourself. We've had the Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland. So yeah, we're kind of getting there.
Getting there.
We're getting there. We're taking over the world, one country,
You're growing them branches, Tree.
We're reaching out into places like we're not putting his roots down just yet. But no, I mean, it's been great having you on, Stace, and it's been a great insight into your life.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you for jumping in and filling up a little spot there, because you've taken us over the 2-hour mark, which is great. I mean, you know me, I tried to drag stuff out there with Red and Kif for a little bit of extra conversation. But when you only have so many questions prepared, it's like, oh, okay, how can we expand on this and that? So it was great to see your comment come up. Don't worry, Andy. No, it's great here. East Coast USA and always ready to go. Lovely stuff, Bennett. We'll definitely stick you down. Like, if you want to get into the TreeCast in future, drop me a message and, we'll work something out that works with your guys' time scale, your timelines and whatever, and we'll try and put something together and get a few people from the same area if we can. It'll be great to get, people's insights from all over the world. I mean, that's the whole idea. It's the whole concept of this TreeCast is to talk to gamers from all over and see what makes people tick. So we've had 3 great examples of that tonight with Chris, with Red, and with Stacey. Stacey came on at a moment's notice. She's done a fantastic job. The other 2 guys, brilliant as well. I mean, they had a bit of time to prepare the questions and stuff. So yeah, we'll give Stacey a few more brownie points for coming on and taking on the gauntlet the way she did.
Oh, thanks. And thank you for the gifts, everyone. Sorry, I was busy chatting, but thank you to everyone who sent me gifts. You didn't have to do that, but I very much appreciate it.
Well, yeah, you can unmute if you want now, guys. You're allowed to unmute. Yeah, work away.
Okie dokie. So I just thought I'd ask.
Oh, no. Oh, I thought you were going to ask me a question there for a second.
Oh, no. No, what I meant was, I thought I'd just ask in the chat if it was okay to unmute now.
Oh, no, you're fine, guys. You're fine. I mean, the last 5 minutes or so is always a bit of a wind down and a chat between each other, and any questions that you want to take from the audience and stuff, we'll slowly wind down there. So like that, guys, if anybody in the chat has any questions for anybody that I've not covered or something that you want to ask people, then fire ahead. I mean, you guys want to have a little bit of a chit chat there. You can chat to each other as well, and we can wind down and enjoy the last 5 minutes just talking crap.
I do want to quickly point out earlier when I was talking to you, Tree, about the echo, because obviously some people were saying about there was an echo in the chat. It's because I plugged in my mic, So because we were talking, you were coming through the mic.
Oh, okay. I did see something about it, all right, but when I'm talking, mate, I'm just waffling and I'm not even looking at the chat 90% of the time. I'm really not. Sorry, guys. It's just I feel more in the zone if I mean, at the minute, I'm sat in a room in the pitch black and just.
What do you mean external microphone banned?
External microphone banned. But no, that's kind of like how I'm literally in a dark room. The only phone light I've got is coming from the phone. It's sat beside my head, and I'm just reading my questions off the lap and listening to you guys and taking it all in. So that's how I roll. So I didn't even hear it.
It's a really nice format, I think, because obviously we all see each other around and we all speak to each other in chat and things, and like it's not always easy to have a conversation in chat because you don't get a lot of space. Then the chat can be very fast moving and it's difficult to keep up with, and and all of that. So to sit and just be able to have like a really nice like discussion about things and really get into it, it's actually really nice. I think it's a great idea, Tree.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Like for myself, like I'm working all the time. The group chat is going off like no tomorrow, and I just can't keep up with it all. And then you get home and you're like siphoning through tons and tons of messages to then catch up, and it's just So it's actually nice to do a little chat and just catch up with people and like get to know people more. It's great.
I'm glad
absolutely. I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I like the first one was brilliant, and as soon as you finished it, I was like, if you ever want to do another one, I'll 100% do it. So I'm glad I have. It's been brilliant.
I'll definitely do this again because, believe it or not, I've always wanted to do a podcast, and I've tried to many times in the past with friends, but they all bailed out. So it's just nice to actually do it with you guys and talk about these things that we do in fact do on a regular basis. Just talk about games and other kind of things. So yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah, I mean, us three have had completely opposites of types of games and genres and consoles, and the other Tree's first one the same. Like it's been like what the Tree had 4 people in his first one and 3 today, and like there's not been any sort of repetitive stories.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone's got their own relationship with gaming, I think, and everyone's got their own connection from it, haven't they? And everyone's got their own memories and experiences. And there's not really a place, I guess. I mean, obviously, in chat, like you say, but we're all busy people, aren't we? And we haven't always got the ability just to sit and have a really nice chat and a trip down memory lane, and talk about our journey here. And yeah, it's nice. I like it. It's good.
Yeah, it's been really good. It's been very, very enjoyable.
No, I mean the first podcast, well, the first TreeCast that came out. Sorry, I mean it was just something I said one night on Stinks' Live. I'd like to do a bit of a podcast, TreeCast. It all just boiled down to what started it off was one. What is it called now? When you go live, you get your tasks that you have to do, and one of them was to go live after creating an event. So I was like, I'll just create an event and get some people in to talk shite for an hour. Like, there's my points for that. Perfect. And it's kind of just spiraled, great reviews from people wanting to come on and talk, which is unreal for such a little concept that we have going on. I mean, anyone can start a podcast, I suppose. But then the fact to have Andy Games, so behind the camera podcast, and the first one who came in, that's what he does. He goes out and talks to famous people from around the world, and to actually have him come in and kind of enjoy what was happening and get invested into it and get some great feedback from someone who is a podcaster was just like, wow. And then you guys all cheering me on to do a volume 2, which we've completed now. We're getting somewhere. Yeah, I mean, I won't be able to do it without you guys.
You've got guests. You've got guests for a volume 3 by the seams of what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's going to really, kick off. To be honest with you, Tree, this, I've seen like 3 or 4 people already saying like, yeah, you know, and you've obviously got another one from some people in Australia, so you've got at least another 2 episodes, and then even if we just done another ring around between us lot again, I mean, there's no end of stuff that we could all probably talk about with the different consoles and specific games. I mean, you could even go as far as like, right, we'll do a podcast on just the N64 and people's experiences with just the N64. So there's all that you could go through.
This is the beauty of it as well. Yeah, I mean,
it's just that's the beauty of gaming. There is just such variety.
I was even asked the other day by the Panic Bandits, Jamshir, who I actually met originally in Logan's Live. The same with Behind the Camera podcast. I met them both in Logan's Live, chatting crap and stuff. And she said to me after the first one, "So, has anybody ever interviewed you?" And I was like, "No," but I says, "I've only ever done one episode." Like, and she goes, "Oh, well, if it ever happens, like, I've got some great questions I want to ask." So, that could be an episode further down the line. I get somebody to come in, or a couple of people can come in, whatever, and we could hit it up that way. Like, you turn the tables,
Yeah. It'd be interesting to get your perspective. Obviously, like you're doing it on us, it'd be great. That'd be quite a good concept.
Well, this is it now. I mean, I have no problem doing it. You guys know me. I will talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. So,
no.
There you go. Andy's put up there. He happens to have some interview experience, Tree. So, there's definitely one person there.
There you go. That then helps. That then helps you both as well. Like,
Well, this is it. I mean, I don't mind. I will talk to anybody.
This is a great community. We all help each other out and stuff. It's great. Like, no one's sort of like, no, we're doing it on my stream or we're doing it on your stream. It's so nice that all of us do stuff for each other.
It is.
This is why people do podcasts, because there are so many now all over YouTube. It's kind of becoming the new sort of TV, if you like. It's what people just sit and tune into on almost like a weekly kind of basis, whether that be movies, games, TV, just anything in general. It's what people enjoy.
There's no end, isn't there, Red? I mean, every genre, even sports, and I mean,
that too.
My sort of stuff, like strongman and football and mental health and whatnot. I listen to no end throughout the week. Gaming, like I said, you could. Well, the sky's the limit, isn't it?
It is. It really is. Like, there's so many aspects to gaming, just in games itself. Never mind going into consoles, what type of games. You've got genres. You've got what got you into
the entry. Couldn't you? You got Sony, you got Sega. You could just branch off into all the different consoles, the handhelds. I mean, it's just you could carry this on for quite a while if you really wanted it to.
Well, that is the plan. Like, I mean, I know people have come in. I've kept a list of who I've asked these questions to, because I've got them written down on my little piece of paper here. And, it's going to come to a stage there where, I probably won't run out of people, but certain people are going to want to come on again. And I have no problem with that because, I was listening to Andy's podcast the other day, for example, and he says, he interviews people and then a year later, he'll touch base with them again because he says a lot of stuff can happen in a year. Yeah. We're expecting the release of GTA 6 to drop. We could get the remake of Ocarina of Time. So in a year's time, I can come back and be asking you guys. So, we spoke about this last year. Did you go out and get the GTA 6? What did you think of it? We could turn it into maybe break it down into a single person podcast, condense it maybe into an hour or something or less, and just do a single person and hit them and do, a couple a week or maybe one a week or something. We'll see.
Yeah. There
we go. Andy's definitely sat in there to the community. He says, if you need a hand in terms of returning guests and structure, give me a shout.
Brilliant.
He's only up the road as well from me.
That's what it's all about. Like, people coming in, supporting, not just for themselves, but, all of us. Like, I'm more than willing to help. I'm willing to help. It's so refreshing.
Well, it's like you said earlier, Tree, that I think it was to Chris that you might have mentioned it, or it was to me, I can't remember, but it was like, there's no right or wrong way about any of this. It's like, you just pretty much tell us what your experience is, and that's pretty much it. Like, you're all going to listen, you're all going to tune in. Whoops.
There you go. Yeah, there's no right and wrong answer. the questions that I'm asking are just purely to get to know you better. I mean, this is just a platform where people are hopefully passing by. They might stop in for a bit and hear, oh, Jesus, this guy likes to play Sonic, or, this woman here loves to play Silk Song, or there's a bit of Mario going over there, or a bit of Gears of War going here, and it's just to try and help build everyone's platform up for starters, and just, like you say, to get everyone together and talking about something that we all love.
Yeah.
It's
And it's like earlier when obviously I touched upon the fact that I've never got to experience games consoles such as the N64 and things like that. But obviously, you and Stacey had mentioned that the new Ocarina remake might come out. That will then, if it does come out and the rumors are true, and I finally do in fact get to play that game, then I can finally join in and actually have a conversation about it.
exactly.
You then get you then get to experience what other people have then experienced, and you can share about the modern version and the older version, and the conversation is endless.
Really
Yeah,
is like that.
absolutely.
And you say you have an N64 there, Red. I would strongly advise you. I mean, if the games are available to you and cost little enough, I don't know what it's like for the market in the UK, but definitely Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, two of my all-time favorite
I
games.
mean, even GoldenEye Red, you can get that for like £9 now.
Yeah, because that's on the Switch now as well, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, for a physical copy, I mean, it's probably like just the cartridge only. But obviously, if you're looking for like completing boxes, obviously you're looking at a lot more money. But if you just want to get like a retro setup, but like physical, some of them games on the N64 are so affordable for such great games. I know some of the bigger titles and that are quite more expensive, like Banjo Kazooie and Banjo Tooie and whatnot. But yeah, like each story, that like all of our stories and memories, there's no like right or wrong. It's all experience and like how you feel in the moment when you're playing them games. It's great.
Well, this is why I like listening to obviously you guys and talk about like Zelda and Mario, like the older ones, whilst I'm kind of, as I mentioned to Tree earlier, the polar opposite, where I'm currently still in the sort of the newer generation type vibes with like movies and things like that.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of it though, Boo, is that you can dip in and out, like, and it's not jarring because each different console or game or whatever it brings you a different a level, a different like experience. So that's what I'm saying about like I love to dip in and out and revisit things and to come back, like I say, full circle, I guess, to like Alex Kidd, which is like an old nemesis of mine. It's like almost reliving an experience but getting to have a different experience at the same time, and it's great. And like even if they do bring a new Zelda Ocarina of Time remake out, I mean, even just playing the old one, because it honestly, like, it's legendary. And I've replayed it a few times since, and it's one of, you can just pick it up again and again and again. Tree, you'll agree. Simsy, you'll agree with it. You can pick it up again and again, and it never feels like it gets old or boring or anything, because it just
You mentioned it earlier, Stacey, that it was like it set the trend. It was a trendsetter. It really was, for like a game that didn't give you a certain path and you had to do this and then you've got to turn that corner. You didn't. You just done. It was very open and it set the trend.
That's why I like games back in the day as well, because it wouldn't hold your hand at all. You just had to do it yourself and figure it all out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do get nannied a lot now.
Yeah, everything now is just like, paid for on subscriptions, and if you want the DLCs, you got to pay for that as well.
Another reason, Red, why I kind of don't do the modern stuff anymore is updates. Like I some weeks I'm here, there, and everywhere with work, traveling, driving a lot of the time. I get back and my time is then limited. Like I've got football in the evenings and gym and whatnot, and family and friends and etc. you want to plug in a game or a cartridge and just play it. Whereas the new stuff, oh, there's an update. Oh, your system needs an update. Oh, the Wi-Fi is down. It just becomes so frustrating. And then, like you say, there's paywalls and DLC, and it's all cost.
Like, don't get me wrong, some like DLCs can be really, really good, depending on what it's for and what kind of game it's going to be on. But it's just the constant money after money after money. It's like, isn't it bad enough that we've got to pay for everything else?
Yeah, for sure. Just touching on Bennett, what you said in the chat there about in the minority. No, Twilight. I absolutely love Twilight. And in terms of the Zelda games as a whole, for me, it feels like Ocarina of Time, but with extra layers to it. And that, funnily enough, I was discussing it a while ago when everyone was like, "Oh, why don't you do a stream?" And that was going to be the game that I was going to stream, was Twilight, because again, not everyone's necessarily got access to it because it's only limited to certain consoles, and not everyone necessarily has those or has a ability to access them. But for me, I think the reason that Ocarina always just takes it for me over Twilight is because of that magical feeling that it gave me. And when Twilight came out, although I had aspects of that and like getting to like, oh my God, look, here we go again, I get to experience this, I guess, to an extent again. I'd already felt it within Ocarina of Time, so it wasn't a whole new experience in the way that Ocarina of Time was, which is why Ocarina just takes it for me.
Yeah, I'd love to see a Switch port come out for Twilight. Whether or not that's going to happen, I don't know. But they're two games I've never played are Skyward Sword and Twilight Princess. But I've heard so many glowing reports about Twilight Princess, over the years talking to people. So it'd be one that I'd love to play. But as you say, you need a Wii U to play it, or is it available on GameCube as well?
I think it's on GameCube, but it's like really, really expensive.
Okay, I know Skyward Sword is, so I was going to pick it up, Bennett. It's like 55 or 60 euros for the game still. And I was like, whoa, that's like buying a new game, So at the minute, until I go back to work, I won't be really buying many new games and stuff. I'll be playing with what I have. But yeah, I'll definitely be looking out for it. I mean, I have Breath of the Wild to go through yet still. I've got all the old ones on the NSO to play. I have Tears of the Kingdom to play as well. So there's plenty more Zeldas out there. I mean, playing so far this year, I've done 3 Zeldas. What we did Ocarina of Time, we did Majora's Mask, we've done Wind Waker. So yeah, it's been nice to get into some of them games.
If there's one Zelda game that I really would like to play out of them all, would probably be Wind Waker, just because of the art style to it and how cartoony it looks. So I like those kind of things.
Yeah, that's fair. And again, everyone's always going to have their own, what feels, better for them or more familiar to them or something that they'd enjoy more. And I think that's one of the beauties of the Zelda series, is that it covers so many bases. Tree, I know you've been playing Breath of the Wild. No, which one is it? Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild?
Played them both, yeah.
Both. Okay, both. Yeah. And again, it's a different style, it's a different format, and it gives you a different challenge in a way. I don't know about you, but the most frustrating thing for me is constantly having to remake weapons and things. You finally get something good and you're like, yeah, this is awesome, and then it's going to break not very long after, and it just for me, people always say, "Oh, the story's always the same," though. Well, the general story's the same, yeah, but the style and the gameplay and the experience of it, for me, has been different, and I've seen it evolve. And I think that's why, for me, it'll always be one of those timeless series that you can still go back and revisit old, and you can experience the new and still love it, and because it's different and it brings new things each time.
Brings depth, brings different levels, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But no, I mean, I'll be finishing up Donkey Kong 64 tomorrow, all going well. Like I say, I think I've just got the final battle. And then I'm going to actually head into the first ever Zelda game. We're going to go back to Link to the Past, start there, and then I'm going to come all the way forward to Breath of the Wild. We're jumping around and stuff with the games, but I know that there's a lot of people that want to see Breath of the Wild and stuff, but the game is long. Well, you know yourself, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, you can invest 100 hours into it and still not be finished.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we'll go to Link to the Past, and we'll go back in time to like what was it, the Game Boy and the SNES. The Legend of Zelda was the first. There we go. Oh well, yeah, there you go. The Legend of Zelda was the first Legend of Zelda game. That's also available on the NSO, I believe, is it? Someone will tell me.
It is on the NES, yeah, and it's on the Switch.
There we go. So yeah, we could do a stream of that now and get into it, hopefully. But like, I want to take this few minutes now just to thank all of you guys for coming in again.
It's been a pleasure, mate. It's been brilliant.
Having a lovely old chinwag with me this evening on Volume 2. You know, you guys are the OGs, along with the other 4. You guys have been here since the start. You've supported me in a lot of the stuff I've been doing, which is unreal. So you have my thanks. And I'll definitely see you again in either your own streams, Red or Kiffer. And Stacey, if you do get around to doing one, got to play.
I'm looking forward to coming back.
It's nice to come back after a while off. I mean, Stace was away there for a few weeks, and it's great to see her back in the lives and stuff again now, and gracing us with her presence. And hopefully, if she finds time down the line, I'd love to see a game of Twilight Princess being streamed. So it'd be.
I will. Yeah, I will definitely give it some thought. I keep toing and froing from it, but you know, I will. I'll make a decision, and of course, I'll let you know if it is going to be a thing. But Red, I'm very much looking forward to rejoining your streams. It feels like it's been a long time.
Same here. Really looking forward to seeing you back, Red.
I know. I do miss it.
Yeah. It's been a long time, but it'll be good, mate. It'll be good to see you back.
I've just obviously, like everyone else, there's so much other stuff that's been in the way, but then I've been trying to redo my games room again, which you've touched on very briefly that I've done in Tree's lives. I've mentioned it, but it's all done now. I'm finally finished. Thank God.
Got there in the end.
3 whole days and it's worn me out.
It'll be worth it, mate. Once you get that stream set back up, mate, it'll just flow back. You'll be as if you never left.
Yeah.
That's
Definitely.
It. 3
and
days.
we'll be there, of course.
Yeah, and you all know that we'll be there, mate. So, you know, like everyone here, we've all supported each other and whatnot, and that's the great thing about our little group is we're such a tight knit group, and we're all in it together, which is awesome.
It is. It's great to see. It is
Absolutely.
great to see. Or in the words of another interviewer that I did see who was on Andy's podcast, interesting. Some of you might get that. Not everyone will. I'm sure Andy will. I'm sure Jamjir will, but I don't know if everybody will. But yeah, you'll have to tune into Behind the Camera podcast maybe to get that one and see the 100th episode parody. Simsy got it. Here we go.
Well, I appreciate you having me on, Tree. It's been fun.
It's been a blast, guys. I appreciate you all for coming in and spending the time. Logan, yeah, see Simsy knows. But no, we will leave it there for tonight, guys. And again, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for coming on to TreeCast Volume 2. And if everyone gives me their permission.
Thank you for having me.
No, thanks for having us. It's been awesome.
I've thoroughly enjoyed it, guys. And I'll be uploading this to the Red app probably tomorrow at some stage. We'll see. So if you do want to miss out or you want to catch up, you know where to find it, guys. You'll go over to my YouTube and it'll be there for you. Thanks to everyone in the audience for coming along and spending time with us this evening. It's been great having you in. And if you do have any aspirations about coming on to an episode of TreeCast in the future, please do drop me a message and we will talk and we'll get something set up. So from myself, And my lovely guests, I'll let them say goodbye.
Bye, all.
Everyone, good night. Thank you. Take care.
It's been a pleasure. And until the next time, guys, take it easy, play safe, and peace out. Thanks a million, everyone.